I didn't know what to do with all of them.
I feel you on that, and it's just a matter of, because I do wish one thing. Don't rely on fucking hidden words. Like, it's so good, or your mother know what to do with it, or anything like that. Like, explain to me, what does the weapon do? I don't need to go to Google to understand what does this legendary do. I always hated that.
I mean, that's kind of like, because think about it, when like Borderlands 3 first came out, and we finally figured out that certain guns had the ability to walk, and that was like, it was like a surprise. It was like one of those surprise mechanic things where you just like get shocked and you see like, oh snap! When I hit the reload button, I threw my gun and it exploded and did even more damage.
Yeah.
I didn't know about this. Or I threw my gun and it just grew legs and started running around shooting.
I think they explained, but okay. And with 4, they have now an army of walking guns. Did you not see that?
Yeah, I know. They now not only that, they're mix and matching. The companies are now mixing and matching.
Yeah.
Which is actually a good thing, in my opinion.
Reloading your game to farm for bosses. Now you can redo missions with higher difficulties. Like clearly they're learning. And the best thing, fast travel. You don't need your fucking vehicles now to fast travel anywhere.
Wait, but you can fast travel.
You can literally fast travel anywhere you open, you unlock. In the past, you needed to either to have a vehicle next to you to be able to fast travel to it in 3, or you need to go to fast travel locations, right?
Well, yeah, fast travel locations are good, and most towns had the fast travel locations.
Yeah, but you need to fast travel. You gotta go to a fast travel location to be able to fast travel. You couldn't just fast travel to the location, right?
You couldn't fast travel like from anywhere.
Yeah, precisely. But they changed that with 4. He literally was in the room and fast traveled to the mission area without any need to use what's it called, fast travel location. They just fast travel. So clearly they're fixing quality of life improvement, and I'm all fucking for it.
Yeah, the one downside I will definitely say about that I noticed is that the gunplay is actually surprisingly slower. Or at least how the gameplay showed, it was significantly slower compared to 3 and 2. It seemed like they scaled it back.
All I saw is a fucking machine gun that I was confused if it's now a skill or a weapon that's firing now.
That was the so now that the rocket launcher and grenade share the same slot, and it's on a cooldown now. So that was the I think that was one of those little like rocket like art guns that they were showing off. And they were saying that because they noticed that in 2 and 3, a lot of people just saved their rocket launchers for the bosses, and basically it was taking up a weapon slot just for the boss.
Yeah.
So that actually was a good change.
And now the Siren is a fucking Reaper and a Summoner as well.
I saw that. It was the Siren, she's pretty interesting. I'm more curious about her. About where she got her siren abilities from, and like
and she is kind of not like Beast Tamer, but more like Cold Tamer, if that makes sense.
Yep, and
comment now, which is I'm all for it.
Yeah, and looks fun. Yeah, and they got the Borderlands 3 cast. We interacted with the previous siren. She was
Amara. Which is
siren in one?
There's a siren in all of them.
I'm not a fan of Amara. My favorite is Maya.
What? Why are you not a fan? Well, Maya. Well, I won't say it.
All alone. All alone. Try to run the town. Tell no duck when they hear that sound. How they gon' come up now? Heavy as they head that'll wear that crown. I'm going pound for pound. And if it's about smoke, then we tote all of that. From an ounce to a pound. Check it, they biting this now. Cause my drip right up the sea. How could they be? Give me a couple of rounds. Cause I'm a beast when I'm on vitamin G. You see they start crumbling now. Mad struck start mumbling now. Get the gist, I ain't reaching for cloud. Plot twist, I'm the one with the keys. Clock blitz, know they love how it freeze. Different continents, I be torn. We living life, making yours look boring. See, we win at the end, it's a spoiler warning. Cause I keep heating up, I might blow the whole planet. They calling me toxic like global warming. But they keep tuning in once again and again. I'm the one at the top, just to form a warning. Truly, I'm De Niro when it come to movies. Get De Niro, entertain the groupies. Habanero if you come pursue me. But I hop on the gang, too busy rolled up whenever my girl getting moody. Link up with the gang, we all go insane. Catching them doors on the duty. On the stick, see I'm locked in. Bought a box, I was like 10. Back then, used to box, nowadays they ain't throwing hands. Mama said we got more advanced. One thing about me, I adapt, bought a Glock fin. Keep me safe from the block in. The game kept me off the block. Ain't got flex about looting my Ruger. I can shit on you with my computer. See my graphics card costs more than your damn job can afford to pay you. And my monitor, big as hell, detail, so I can see when I spray you. To reload the clip and record the clip is go all say to that SSD. Know a whole lot of trill game heads like me wanna see tuned into that VGP. Take over the west and the east, and we got just what you need on vitamin G.
Oh, okay, cool. Oh, do you want to do your intro again then?
I guess I got to re-intro. Hello. Welcome, everybody. This episode of Vitamin G Podcast. I'm your host, Pharaoh, and with me today, I have Nappy, Omar, and Kofi. Y'all missed all the fun stuff, but let's go ahead and kick these intros off. Nappy, man, how you been? What you been playing?
I've been doing good. So I have definitely been started recording videos for the Red Magic 10 Pro, the gaming phone, and my deep dive into mobile gaming, which I've done an extensive, crazy deep dive into it. So that's probably worth another video in itself. But yeah, working on that. Actually, I'm gonna show off something on What's on Your Mind. I'm not gonna do it on the intro because we usually our intros go on forever because of that. But besides that, as far as gaming, Monster Hunter, I am working on my mastery rank, Kofi. Okay, so I'm at 15 now, still climbing up the rank. Okay, and look. Okay, I was diving into other games, working on some stuff.
I'm leaving you alone. Trust me, I get it. I haven't really actually touched Monster Hunter because I got other stuff. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah. So besides Monster Hunter, played a little bit of Split Fiction. Played a little bit of COD. It's just been doing a lot more PC gaming and did a little bit more recordings. And I'm just gonna leave What's on Your Mind to show you something I got recently.
Right. Omar, man, how you been? What you been playing, man?
Yeah, so what I've been playing tons of Metrovanias as always, and the key is Activision 33, and I just can't get enough of this from this game, dude.
Yeah,
It's like there is, yeah, I don't want to spoil it. It's a gameplay mechanic they introduced quickly in the game. It's so unique. Like they found a way to make the game even more fun for me, and I'm all for it. It's so crazy when you hear all about what's happening with 33, how it came to be and stuff like that. Question: do you want to make that a topic? Is it a topic or
we'll be talking
is
a
that
little
what?
bit. We'll be talking a little bit
Oh,
about Expedition 33. I think there's some stuff you want to talk about. Go ahead on it and what's on your mind.
okay. Yeah.
Um,
Okay. We do that one on
yeah.
my mind. Besides that, yeah. No. That's it.
All right. And Kofi, man, how you been? What you been playing?
Been good, guys. I know we got a lot of topics. I'll be quick. A lot of my time has been spent in 100 line. Work's been a little bit crazy, so I haven't really played much else. I mean, I have been playing Minecraft Dungeons with my family, and we've done pretty well on that. Um, yeah, really just 100 line and Minecraft Dungeons. That's really it for right now. But it will be a lot of other things very soon. So yeah,
Yeah,
that's it for me.
busy weekend for me. A lot of moving around, birthday parties, all types of other stuff. So didn't get
Yeah.
too much gaming in. It's been pretty busy. But
Mm.
I have been keeping abreast of what's been going on in the industry and with gaming. I am like dying to get into Exorcist 33. I do need to finish out the midnight first, so I'll
How
probably
far are you
try.
in South of Midnight,
I am chapter 6. So it's like middle of the game.
dude?
I know it gets really short after a certain point in the game. Like the last
Not
couple
gonna lie.
chapters are pretty short.
Drop South of Midnight for now and play 33.
No,
Well,
You're
I can
damn.
definitely.
I can
Well,
finish
damn.
I can finish out the midnight in a couple days. I just gotta have the time for it.
Mm.
Um,
Nah.
but with that said, let's go ahead and get this show rolling. Jubate's just gonna have to miss out, and we're gonna jump into what's on your mind.
Mister, I'm gonna be on here on time, eh?
Yeah, he said he was ready. He said he
Damn.
was ready at 8 o'clock. So things change quickly, But you got the news,
I mean,
you got the baby and all that. So I get it. What's that device you got there,
yeah.
Abby?
Well, it's a webcam. It's I'm setting up for the what's on your mind from at least my section.
Oh,
Or what's
okay.
your in mind? I was going to
Oh,
show something off.
okay. Okay. All right. Well, we are here, and what's on your mind, where we are going to cover, some of like the, I guess, kind of B-roll topics, which there really are no B-roll
Hmm.
topics this week. It's just a lot's happened in the past like 7 days. So, um, I guess let's see. Let me jump back to our chat conversation, see where we can kick this off at. You know what, Kofi, kick off where you wanted to go with talking about Exorcist 33. And I
I
guess
just wanted to react to a lot of the spicy takes that we've seen on social media. One of the ones I can highlight has to do with a particular editor on. Oh man, I apologize. I don't have the site saved in my bookmarks, but um, one of the posts he made was that he loved Expedition 33, so much, and that one of the reasons he loved it so much was because of the, in his opinion, refreshing cast of characters, and in his title made criticism to the age of protagonists in a lot of JRPGs, because he's classifying Player Obscure as a JRPG, which I don't disagree. And it has sparked quite a debate topic on how the community should react to a title that has been celebrated, so loudly, I'll say, as Expedition 33. I have not started it just yet, just because I am in the middle of 100 Line, and 100 Line also came out in the same day. Um, but, what I've noticed is that I think as a whole, everybody really likes the idea of Expedition 33 because of its similarities to, yes, something as classic as PlayStation 1's Legend of Dragoon. And even more recently, though still I think considered a retro console, Xbox 360's Lost Odyssey. And the visual and aesthetic style I think does really look similar to Lost Odyssey. And there was, I think, a um, a point where many of the JRPG gamers who grew up in the PlayStation 1 and PlayStation 2 era completely dropped out and have not paid much attention to turn-based RPGs or RPGs I'll say in JRPGs in general since maybe PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360 came out. And I think unfortunately at the time when Lost Odyssey was released, turn-based RPGs were much more common for many franchises, or we had just exited, an era in PS2 where turn-based RPGs were still, I would say, a majority of JRPGs that were being released. So, um, Lost Odyssey was not critically acclaimed. It was not very loud and celebrated, and considered some sort of like new pinnacle for the series. But what's interesting is as we've kind of rolled on into new generations, we find how turn-based RPGs still have a lot of value and can bring a certain type of strategy that might remind you of something like chess. So, I think there are some hardcore gamers in the community that don't like um, that certain people who have not played the genre, maybe for 10 or 15 years, are claiming that this is the greatest thing ever made since Final Fantasy X, or the greatest thing ever made in the last 20 years, or there are no JRPGs with older cast. And it's unfortunate. It's a fortunate like dichotomy where I think everybody thinks it's great. And then there are some people who just don't want to see it put on a pedestal so much, and it's causing like a lot of nastiness between fans in a fan base that hasn't um always got that number of attention. I'll say in the last 3 years it's been significant. The way Metaphor is a brand new JRPG, and the way Baldur's Gate really smashed things out of the gate. Even though Divinity Original Sin 2 is amazing. But I guess um in my opinion, I also reacted in a way where I feel like there are many JRPGs. One that jumps out at me all the time is Yakuza 7. That I think it was very different for the Yakuza series that had traditionally been always action based to turn based and have these like adult characters. In fact, the main character is 40 years old, and the story is really like touching about like Kazuga's journey. And but unfortunately it isn't received the same way as something like Expedition 33. um I'm happy that there are more people looking into the into the turn-based JRPG games now because of Expedition 33. But I am going to go in with some skepticism to see what kind of pinnacles Expedition 33 reaches.
I, I
Just because of
wouldn't. Yeah, no,
Go ahead.
I
Go ahead, Omar.
absolutely wouldn't go with any skepticism whatsoever. Take it from me. You know me. I played RPGs like for how long? Years. Like, dude, the only game that have come close to give me that much of excitement, either Sea of Stars, which you know you love,
I don't like
or
Sea of Stars.
how dare you?
Yeah. Have we had this
Really?
conversation? We haven't had. So I'll let you finish, and then we can debate if you want, because I
Um,
do want
We
to debate.
talked
we can
about it.
do it. We can do it off air because I
Okay.
know that's what's on your mind, and it's gonna be way too long between us. I will say though. I think what differentiates between Expedition 33 and other JRPGs is most of them are either indies, they're trying to do something unique, or there are either Bravely Default 1 and 2, Octopath Traveler, which I love Octopath Traveler, but that's just recent, not that long ago. I mean, in the past few years. This is why when Metaphor came out, it was so fresh. because they switch it up from the whole Persona gameplay style. With 33, it does something different. You're not just turn-based, you're actively turn-basing. You need to dodge, you need to parry, you are required to do both things. It's not an option. If you don't do that, you take damage. And especially on hard mode, that's not an easy ride for you. Even normal mode, parry is not easy. It's something you learn. And what I love about this game, and I think other people do, is it's unapologetic. That's basically what it comes down to. It starts off strong. It hits you in the feels right away. Uh, it gives you gameplay mechanic that they keep updating it the longer you play. Your cast of characters are all lovable. There is zero person I hate so far in the game that I dislike. The story is engaging as fuck. So, and the music, I can't stop talking about the music. That's how amazing the music is. So all by all, when you put all that formula together, you get Expedition 33. From what? Disgruntled ex-Ubisoft employees. That they said it in an interview. If they had pitched this game to be released AAA, it would have taken him a decade or two. I forgot that quote. So clearly they're doing something right while other people are doing a lot of wrong. And you know what the craziest part is? Most of his team are just people he recruited. The music dude, he is from SoundCloud. Uh, Other dude have zero experience. Yet when you play the game, you're playing a polished game, a game with gameplay mechanics that don't feel broken, don't feel unfair. Sometimes parry is iffy, but then you can prefer to dodge if you want to, which the dodge have a significant better window than parry. So all by all, I truly believe 33 is exposing a lot of the industry, but also more importantly, a lot of the turn-based industry. Because people thought, okay, turn-based, we're gonna only find that in indies or double A. No, this is double A that clearly could have been a triple A and done right. It's just double A, and there is absolutely nothing wrong about that. And at the end, it just how do I say that? People are disgruntled when it comes to turn-based. In order to, yeah, there is Yakuza. I have yet to play Yakuza 7. You know why? Because I wanted to go every single Yakuza so I understand the story. I know it's not part of uh, the previous story, but I do know a lot of returning characters appear. Heck, the main character from 1 to 6 up is one of the main characters in 7. And I wonder why. So in order to do that, I'm playing all these Yakuza games. So there are few outliners, but most of the time, if you wanted a turn-based, you had to find it in indies, you had to find it in obscure stuff. So to see a company just studio just put out something like this, it genuinely makes you question what's wrong with the JRPG turn-based industry. Why is everyone ditching turn-based for action-based for the most part? Yeah.
Mm.
Uh,
I guess I.
Hmm.
Pharaoh, did you want to say something?
I mean, I was gonna go with your original point of kind of talking about not having older characters in JRPGs. I think plenty of JRPGs have older characters. I just think it's a matter of this game kind of being more relatable to a Western audience versus older
Hmm.
Japanese characters just not being as relatable, as Eastern characters to the Western audience. And I'm sure the article you were referencing was pretty sure. I would bet that it was from a Western news outlet. Am I?
You are right.
All right. Yeah. So I mean,
Right.
and um, and I just know that I can just guess that just from looking at the trailer, the characters did feel more relatable as far as how they were emotionally dealing with the task at hand. Like even in the intro trailers that we saw of the game, it just felt more like how we on the West would react to that type of situation. But the combat and everything looks gorgeous and fantastic. As far as turn based goes, I think it's just one of those ebbs and flows things. We have plenty of turn based games. It's just we're looking at maybe one or two large publishers who are going with their AAA titles and not exactly doing turn based. But we're seeing a lot of Japanese turn based games. And for that writer, if he isn't playing a lot of turn based games, the game that he's probably most thinking about is what's it called? Persona 5, which takes place.
This is true. It may be a reaction.
Yeah, so it's like if you're not in it, but the biggest thing is Persona 5 Royale that you can recently think of outside of a Final Fantasy game. That's probably what's carrying your perception. So that's kind of how I see it. There's plenty
That's a good point.
There's plenty of Japanese turn-based.
Skies of Arcadia. That was my very first turn-based game I completed.
My homeboy from middle school, that's his favorite ever. My bad. Zero, did you want to say something too?
I was just kind of curious, only on the age thing. I saw the same article you did, Kofi, and it made me just sort of stop and think for a second, like, of its major cast of characters, not side characters or people who like are a part of it, how many JRPGs really do feature older people? Even
a lot. Nah, a lot.
No, not really. Think
It's
about
more,
like
it's more of a show and feel.
In Final Fantasy alone, every single game have an older character.
But it's not like the
No,
cast.
see, that's
not an older
that's my
cast.
thing though. When I think older, my head is 40 plus. No
So
one
we're
in
talking
Final
about
Fantasy,
40s?
say for Vincent, no one in let's say Final Fantasy 7 is above 35. Sid is 32 years old, and they make him seem like an old man.
Yeah.
Even in Expedition 33, like main character Gustav, not any spoilers, but obviously you can sort of assume his age just based on the premise of the story.
Yeah.
So,
right.
Auron is 35 from Final Fantasy X.
Yeah.
Who also looks like a 50-year-old man. Like you made a great point, Kofi. Like, what is his name? It's not Kiryu, but it's from Yakuza.
Kazuga?
Kazuga. He's in his 40s.
Yeah, he is.
But what other characters who were part of the main cast, not side characters, like Sid from Final Fantasy VIII? He's much older, but he's not part of the cast. Like how many of them really are? Because we run the gamut the other way, right? Like we have a host of 16-year-old protagonists, like in Grandia.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. Like, so where's the sort of opposite end of it? And not that it needs to exist, but I'd be interested in a game with, because I think it makes the storytelling different, right? Like,
yeah, I think they go for more of a show and feel on the JRPG front, though. So I think that's why you don't really get those older character JRPG.
Has anyone ever thought? Because there's one thing about the average gamer for today compared to the average gamer back then. Because the average gamer, at least for the United States, is around the age of 35 now, compared to the early 1990s. So maybe they decided to go with older cast because they look at the demographic of gamers. And now that the average gamer is in his 30s, maybe they're just like, okay, maybe we can tailor more mature characters, more mature stories that 30-year-olds would love to play.
So
Since we make the majority.
But
when you mention older characters being over 40, that is tough. I mean, one that just jumps to mind, I'll just name one to name it. There is a character in the latest trilogy of Trails. He is 60, and he's in 2 of the 3 games in that trilogy. Oh, or I'm thinking of I just had a character in my mind. Like if you look at games like Suikoden, there are
Yes.
characters in there that are older.
Yeah.
In Star Ocean, I know there's a couple older characters in Star Ocean. That one's a little bit more sci-fi. I know what's the name of the swordsman in Star Ocean 2? Forget
Yes.
his
Stores.
Or
Damn.
Ashton.
I have not played Star Ocean.
Ashton.
Diaz is young. He's like in his
Diaz is
20s.
okay. Yeah. My bad. So I meant to say,
But
it
Bowman,
is.
I
It is
believe, is in his 40s.
okay. Yeah, it is tough to get somebody out of their 30s. I will wholeheartedly admit that one. I guess I didn't. I always think of somebody over 21 as, quote unquote, more mature because they usually are not in high school or they usually can't be part of the persona stereotype. Um, so I get, because I guess I can't speak on Expedition. I do know like one part of Expedition just based on, you know, age.
Yeah.
But like I guess if you're naming other characters in your 20s, there are a few Final Fantasy characters in the 20s. I know like 7, 8, and 9 are not. But a game like Shadow Hearts, Covenant, Yuri, he was the one who can transform to all the different demons. He's in his mid 20s, 24. So I mean, if you're looking at like the range between 20 and 40, I think it's a little bit more balanced. Trying to think how old
Like
Jack Bam. Oh, go ahead.
in my head, I mean, probably because I'm a bit older, but like I still think I view the 20s just as a whole as young. Like they're not teenagers, no, but like no one considers a 20-year-old old.
That's
No.
true.
Nope.
Right?
No.
Like
Also, I
nobody's
think.
like,
Oh, go
That's
ahead.
true.
I'm finish your thought.
and so it's just like, and again, this is no slight on the industry. It is what it is. Like the
Yeah.
average age of a JRP protagonist is probably around 25, 26. So like I'm not saying they're all children because most of them are not children. But I do think it interesting when like people talk about they praise Expedition 33, and I agree with you with Big Kofi about like I think it's unfortunate that this game is getting wrapped up in some weird JRPG culture war.
Yeah.
Because then that's going to force people not to celebrate how good this game is without tearing something else down. And as far as we can tell, the developers don't want that. They just want people to love their game and have a good time without any of the negativity involved with it. And they're not responsible for Square's actions or anybody else's actions. But like Yakuza has been here, and it's a excellent turn-based JRPG.
Yeah, it
And
feels
people seem like it doesn't exist. And
yeah. That's what I'm
while
saying.
you don't have to play 1 through 6 to get 7, it's helpful, but you can play Like a Dragon all on its own.
Yeah, you can.
yeah, I agree, but it
Yeah.
is
8
just
is different. To your point,
it-
Omar, 8 is a little bit different, but 7.
Yeah, you need. Yeah.
I am aware.
you
I'm
can
aware. It's just how do I say that? It feels intimidating, eh? Not for me, but for others, I think,
I'm
to
on.
Maybe.
I'm
jump
on.
into 7 without playing all the others. Otherwise, we'd have seen. Cause I don't think you could like. I'm gonna play 7 eventually, and like a dragon. And from what I've seen, it's not missing anything to not be played. It's just I'm curious why nobody enjoyed it. Not nobody. Not a lot of people did.
Yeah, I'm gonna agree with Zero. I feel like the criticisms ways that JRPGs are more so leaning toward the Kings of the Hill and Persona and Final Fantasy. Not necessarily not necessarily the JRPG genre as a whole from this particular writer.
I think it's more how companies are ditching turn-based for action. That's
And when
what
you say
comes out.
ditching,
Because
do
there's
you
a
mean
lot of
like any?
turn-based games that are
Yeah, like
JRPGs,
which publishers are you speaking of, Omar?
Well, the biggest one is Square.
but they're not ditching it. It's only Final
They
Fantasy. They have plenty other
What?
JRPGs that have
Yeah,
turn-based.
they're like the definition of turn-based. If you look at all their titles,
Yeah.
I think
their
Final
main
Fantasy and Dio Field Chronicle are the only like real-time games they do,
no,
right?
no, I'm talking about their main game, main title, main what you call
Their
it,
biggest
series,
title.
which is Final Fantasy. When they did that, it alienated a lot of people.
Not all right.
But
So
they
And
Final,
shouldn't
so
be. They shouldn't be the roadmap though.
and
sorry,
plus Final
Like,
Fantasy
what about
7.
Dragon Quest?
Yeah, Dragon Quest is
What
great.
about Romancing Saga? What about Octopath
hey,
Traveler? What about Live
hey,
Alive?
I love Octopath Traveler. I have yet to play Romancing Saga and Live Alive. I have it, but I have yet to touch it. But
And
What
I
about?
do
Oh, go
think,
ahead.
yeah, I do think it comes down to people don't want. I don't say that people want a triple A quality game at turn based,
but if
and
you
when you, yeah.
Final Fantasy 7 Remake had a full turn-based mode that was available to everyone. Nobody played it. That's why Rebirth didn't get the turn-based mode.
Turn-based mode in Remake was terrible. I tried it. It's
Really?
not
I mean,
functional.
it's
It's
not. It's
not
not
functional.
bad. It force all
It's
your
not
characters do is just dodge until you tell them to attack.
it's not functional. You can dodge. You can do anything.
Oh,
Like
yes, by chance.
with this game, turn-based is an actual turn-based. You dodge, you parry, you are
Well, it's
required
That's
to
not
do
common
stuff.
amongst the
that, that's
genre.
that, that's not common
Like that's
amongst.
uncommon.
Yeah,
No, the
this is
common
this
among
is this is Expedition 33 is more of a quote unquote action turn-based. It's not a traditional turn-based game.
Like almost no Final Fantasy had a dodge or parry mechanic. Like you just stand there and you do
you
your moves.
can buff yourself and debuff yourself. Yeah, I agree.
Like
But
Like,
again, like
but the
Super
thing
Mario
with
RPG had a dodge and parry system, and that's a
so
Square game.
I didn't think about that.
repeat that, please.
I was saying Super Mario RPG had a dodge or a let's say dodge or limit damage system, and that's a Square game. Granted, it's old as absolute hell.
Mm,
What about the remake? Did they handle the remake, or did someone else did?
That's a good question. I think somebody else did.
But I guess what I'm thinking, Omar, is because Final Fantasy abandoned turn-based, which I don't like. I agree with you, but I'm not down on the industry because what Final Fantasy is doing. Like, there's too much that Atlas is doing. There's too much that Falcom is doing. There's too much that all these other publishers are making that have stayed in the vein of turn-based or created new IPs.
And Dragon Quest.
No,
Dragon Quest is just as
Dragon
well,
Quest.
in Japan. Dragon Quest is just as big as Final Fantasy.
yeah, no, I think
And
it's actually
and
bigger. Apparently, it sold more,
yes,
which that surprised me.
Another one that people like that's kind of it's a little more niche, but it's out of Capcom is Monster Hunter Stories.
I have it. I have
Actually,
yet to touch it myself, but I have it.
That is surprisingly decent. I was not. I
Yeah,
didn't expect
it's
that.
a game.
It's
Yeah, I was like, oh.
it's almost like a rock scissor mechanic,
Mm-hmm.
rock
Mhm.
paper scissor mechanic. Yeah.
Yeah, and like other games like Triangle Strategy out of Square. There's a couple more.
Yeah, I mean, it just feels unfortunate, like because it sounds like what the truth is, we just want Final Fantasy to be like
Yes.
Expedition 33, and that's
Yes.
fine.
Yeah, I think
But like
that's basically
it's ignoring so much of the other good material that's out there in favor of this one thing, of which gamers generally complain about not getting this. I mean, getting the same thing over and over and over again. But like, as far as I'm concerned, it's never been a better time to be a JRPG fan. There's just so much.
yeah, I do agree that there is a lot of games that coming out at the RPG especially turn-based. Like we're getting Sea of Stars DLC very soon, and
Yeah,
that
and
just
Chained
look like
Echoes DLC. That
close.
game is much better than
Yeah, but that
Superstar.
does look like a full-blown game by itself. This DLC is gonna be minimum 20 hours, I think. Like
You're
it
probably
seems
right.
big. Yeah.
Yeah, you're probably right.
So yeah, no. For JRPG fans, we're eating real good. It just to me, it feels like and I said it when, and I have seen other people say, and I spoke with other people, and they said it as well. What 33 did, they expected this from Square. They don't want it now from Square because 33 is doing it now. But they expected Square to take the initiative. And when Square didn't, and we got 33, this is why people are semi-alienated in a way.
Yeah. I mean, I definitely agree that there's
Yeah.
some like
Also,
turn-based warriors who, expected the tried and true companies to stay true to turn-based with their biggest IP. I wouldn't disagree with you there at all.
VGP comment didn't help either. When he talked about action turn-based and action-based and how I forgot what that comment was, but he shot himself in the foot so much that I don't think he ever commented again after that.
But like I said, when it comes to like Final Fantasy VII Remake, the same people who are upset that Square doesn't do turn-based games in Final Fantasy didn't play Final Fantasy VII Remake in turn-based mode. That also hurts the argument. Like when the option is presented to you, I mean, they look at all that data. They track everything we do now. So when your system's connected to the internet and you're deciding to play in action mode and you done played the game, several different chapters and you never once switch over to the turn-based mode to even check it out, you know, they kind of feel justified in sticking with the action-based route.
Oh, yeah. I can see that.
Yeah, just kind of how it is. I mean, like people love Persona's turn-based, but
Yeah.
people love Metaphor's turn-based, but
I think
I,
that's what you said earlier, though, Pharaoh. They want a Western JRPG. They want a JRPG with Western aesthetics.
Yeah, with like a Western.
yeah, and
Yeah.
Final Fantasy is kind of the JRPG that gives you the Western aesthetics more so than any other JRPG.
Right, because they do high fantasy so much.
Yeah, so
Mhm.
it does have more of a Western. Even freaking Final Fantasy 16, it felt more like a Game of Thrones type feel
Yeah,
than
very
Yeah,
high
100%.
fantasy.
Yeah.
It did.
yeah.
Very high fantasy.
So it gives you the more Western feel than any other JRPG. Like no one's begging like Scarlet Nexus or Bandai to make a turn-based RPG with their next RPG. It's just I think people just have their eyes pointed on Square and particularly Atlas at the moment. Then everyone else kind of just is shielded under them, and the guys who are really RPG heads, they know that there's plenty of turn-based games out there to pick from.
Yeah.
But we can jump on to the next what's on your mind. I know trying to keep it. I know Nappy had one. And he has his little camera up. Are you ready for the big moment, Nappy? Or you need more time?
Sure. Oh no, I'm ready. I just want to show you guys. Xbox and PC, of course, have gotten a new controller from Netcom, and this controller, Netcom Revolutionary X, is the very first controller that's officially supported by Xbox that has gyro support. And this is the controller right here that I recently got my hands on. That you can get this for around 200 USD. In the case, it does come with a docking station and also for you to charge your controller, and also can plug it in. Which actually, I'm gonna plug it into my PC just to show you how the screen looks.
Does it have like a dongle so that it works with the Xbox, or do you need to play wired at all times?
Dongles. No, it can work wirelessly. Dongle's right here. So the dongle goes into the charging, can go in the charging dock right here. And then from here, you could like hook it. Then you from USB-C to USB-A cable, hook it up to your Xbox, or you can hook it up to your PC.
Okay.
So
So what's that screen do?
I'm glad you asked. So the screen is actually used for programming this controller. So this controller has support of 4 different profiles. Oh, right now I got it in Bluetooth mode, which actually I'm gonna switch this over to it's out of Bluetooth mode. I'll switch it back over to dongle mode, so it'll be hooked up to my PC. The button right here is what basically activates the screen. Screen lets you control audio. You can control button mapping for all the buttons. So basically, there's like a total of 6 different shortcuts, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And they all can be programmed from here. And you can program up to 4 different profiles. Also, with the settings, you can do the Bluetooth settings, parent options, and you can control like the battery savings. Say, for instance, you can control when the controller dims out. You can control the brightness of the screen if you want to. It's actually so much you can do with this controller, which I actually really like. Another cool thing about this controller, which is inside here. Oh crap! There's a bunch of stuff all over the place, but it comes with a lot of crazy accessories. Basically, the basics of taking off joysticks and replacing them with like other joysticks that you have. You can even put rings over them to increase the range, or if you say, for instance, you like domes, just slap that on real quick.
Hall effect, right?
There. Yep, all Hall effect joysticks and Hall effect triggers, which I got. No, this thing is the controller, but like, say for instance, you want this thick ass dome piece, you can do that, for example. Another cool thing about this controller is you can adjust the weight. So on the back of here, they have these little weights. And say, for instance, if you want to add 16 grams, you can slide 16 grams of weight on this controller. And there, the controller's now heavier. For those people who like heavier controllers, I don't understand why, but I guess it makes it feel premium. But
A weird mechanic, but okay.
no, like you don't understand. Like casual players, well, if they hold a lighter controller, they say they hate it. If they hold a heavier controller, they love it, and then vice versa. Like it's weird, but there is a lot of people who care about the weight of the controller.
My controller, like my PC one, is lighter than my DualSense one, and I don't give a fuck. I play with both.
A lot of people feel that the heavier a device is, the more premium it feels. So,
that is a problem. That's unfortunately is true. Also, you can change out the D-pad too. Slap out the D-pad. Put another D-pad on here for if you want the basic D-pad, but I actually gonna put this back because this D-pad is way better. Which I'm going to slap on right here. Wait, do I got this? Yep. Oh, crap. Yeah, I got it. All right. Here we go. Just put this in. Yep, there we go. So that's all set. Also, the cool thing about this is the buttons are mechanical. And so basically everything you touch on here is a mechanical key, which is also really nice. And if you go to the back of it, this actually has mechanical keys as trigger stoppers. So basically, it's like a mouse click for the triggers, which is actually really good for FPS games. And yeah, overall, like, also, last but not least, headphone jack for adding headphones in. You can get all of this plus a USB-A, USB-C cable, of course. And all of this will run you around 200 USD. Just came out last week.
That's not too bad. And it has holographic
all effect joysticks, yes, and triggers.
Yeah, but I'm having brain fart long day.
You're good. But that's actually so far a decent controller. Been playing around with it a little bit. Just got it last week. comes with a lot of features, and honestly, this may rival the Razer Wolverine 3 controller, which a lot of Xbox gamers rate that as the best gaming controller you can get for Xbox.
Okay.
Yeah, this both of them around 200 for 200 USD. So this right here is actually a really good competition. So just wanted to show you guys the controller I recently have gotten. Also, I forgot the lock button. This link basically will deactivate all of your back buttons and your programmable buttons, so you can use it as a regular controller. Don't have to worry about pushing any extra buttons. Forgot it has that feature.
That is a great feature. That is an amazing feature. I don't know how many times I've been in a game with my Elite controller and I hit the paddle, didn't get the.
Nope. With this, all you gotta do is just flip the switch on. All your back buttons are locked. They won't work no more.
That's what's up.
And then you flip it up.
I am looking forward to seeing. I guess what do we got? 3-4 weeks till Xbox's show, because
yeah, they got a new controller as well. So I'm curious.
Yeah, well, they've had a new controller for like 2 years now. It'll be interesting to see if they actually debut it at this particular event.
We will see.
All right, and then,
but that's all I have for you guys.
Okay. And we also had, you guys wanted to touch on Borderlands 4. They had a little showcase for the game, I think, over the weekend.
Yeah. So I'm gonna take it over. I'll let you wanna do it, Nappy.
Yeah.
Okay. So
I'll let you talk. I'll let you do the talking first.
No, you can do it if you want.
No, because I mean I already just did a lot of talking. So I would definitely say, sure, I'll do it. Okay. About Borderlands 4, they recently had a little showcase where they showed off 2 of the new Vault Hunters, which was the Siren and the other guy who seemed to be like some type of like he seems to be in an exosuit. And they showed off like gameplays, a sneak peek at one of the boss battles and some of the cool guns, and also they said that there's now 3 new companies now and some of the cool features. Overall, I think it was actually a really good thing that Borderlands 4 actually showed this off. I think it did a really good job showing off all of the new features. I know that we were talking earlier, Omar, about like the quality of life changes. Like, say for instance, you can say you can fast travel everywhere, which I think is good. I didn't really see an issue with the fast travel from the previous 2 games, but if you don't want to have a teleporting point and you want to fast travel anywhere, good. The glide mechanic, I think it was cool. The fact that you could wall run was interesting. And the fact that wall running doesn't take up no stamina was also very interesting. When I was seeing the guy wall run, it was like his stamina meter was recharging. I was like, that is interesting.
I missed the gun wall running completely. Damn, I need to rewatch it then.
Oh, you didn't? Yeah, when they first started gliding, he glided to the edge of a mountain and just wall run the rest of the way up. But his stamina bar was recharging as he was wall running.
Wall climbing. Okay, yeah, no, I get you.
Yeah, wall climbing. So I was a little confused on that one, but I was like, okay, sure, whatever. They showed off like some of the guns, and they basically talked about, they took some feedback. Borderlands 4, they said they're going to have more grounded based story, which is good because 3 had the worst story. And what made it even worse about 3 was the people who developed 3 released the unedited version of what the story could have been, which was so much better than what we got. When they showed all the hand-drawn cutscenes that they idea that they had, and they just completely dropped it. They was like, "Nah, we're going to go with this more simpler story instead," which made one of the most hated characters could have been a decent character, and I realized that they ruined her completely, and there was a reason why we all hated her.
Ava?
The bratty goddamn siren chick.
Her name is Ava, yeah.
Yeah, oh my god, man, they ruined her character. And
wait, she was redeemable?
If you actually have saw the original story for her, which they released it, which was the original idea, she actually had a decent amount of character growth and actually was bearable at the end. Like, she still was bratty at the beginning, but she actually grown and developed and actually learned, and she was a better character. And that when they released that, it was like a bunch of like hand draws with the voice acting was already recorded.
I
It was kind of
have to look
like
it up then, because I hated her, especially with the reaction after what happened at her planet. Yeah, no.
yeah, she like the original version of her was actually better. The final product we got made her into this annoying, bratty little chick that like did honestly. I don't think she should have been a siren. She don't
No,
deserve
she
it.
didn't. Well, she is not even in four, so clearly they learned from it.
So we don't. I want to say she's not in 4 yet because
Yeah,
I mean
I'm not gonna lie.
I don't think they're gonna like completely kill her off.
We don't know. Yeah, I'm hoping part of me, but we will see. I will say though, the main character of Siren of 4 kind of look like her. Not gonna lie. When I first saw it, I'm like, is that Ava? And then they said it's a new Siren. I'm like, thank God it's not Ava.
I mean, okay, but I mean, I'll see. Maybe I highly doubt that they're just gonna throw Ava away after everything that happened at 3, though.
Yeah, no, they're gonna bring her back. If they brought Amara back, they're gonna bring Ava back. Yeah. Also,
So
apparently Lilith in there as well, so we're gonna see a lot of the returning characters.
yeah,
What I
we
do love
definitely are.
is we are getting a new area. It's a new planet. It's no longer Pandora. So
Yeah, that is great.
another thing, apparently you can do vault challenges. So
Yes,
there are yeah, so it is a combination between quality of life improvement, but also realizing that the story was trash, so they rebooted that in some way by going off to a different planet now. And most importantly, this with the introduction of all these traversals that you can do, hover, double jump, wall climbing, rock climbing, whatever you want to call it. It feels like they want to make it more single player esque focus, like platforming way more than before. Also, another quality of life improvement, you don't need to go to all these people to get your quest line from. The second you basically it's like a mini Ubisoft tower where you climb and then you hack something and you open the area up, you actually get all the side quests in that area directly, which is I love. You don't like this is why I say quality of life control improvement is amazing. Another one,
yeah,
this is not with 4 but 3. I have no idea. I started 3 with my friend. Again, is they in one DLC they introduced the ability to pick up loot, guns, and auto sell them. It depends on the rarities that you want. It can be white, green, blue, purple, white, or even legendaries. If you pick up a weapon, it doesn't go into your inventory. It doesn't make it full. It get auto sold without the need to sell it at a shop. I do think that's a huge quality of life improvement. And then you have already had auto pickup for ammo and money. It just to me it feels like if we put the trash story aside from 3, it feels like Borderlands have time and time showcased how they are the best. Nothing comes close to them when it comes to looter shooter.
yeah, um, yeah. I would definitely say I will to say the only thing that is slightly a downside for me is that I feel that the gunplay and the combat has gotten slower in 4. Like, even though there was a lot going on the screens with like the shooting and stuff, maybe because the character wasn't like sprint, maybe the players weren't sprinting like that or taking advantage of the side dodges and back dodges, which is another thing too. They mentioned it, but the guy barely used it in gameplay. He just walked over to the left and right.
Not gonna lie, the dude that was playing wasn't even playing good. So
I mean, yeah, the
move past
gameplay
that.
looks slow. It looks slow, but I'm just saying, like, even I'm still going to criticize you because that's the person you chose to showcase the gameplay of your game. He made the combat look extremely slow.
He most of the time didn't even use his skills. So
Yeah, I mean, he was kind of following a script, which I kind of understand.
yeah,
But at the same time, like, the combat looked slow. I ain't saying like it had to look like Doom, where fast paced, I'm killing everything, quick time kill, and all the other stuff. But I'll say this: Borderlands 4 gameplay for the first showcase, although it was good, looks like a fun game to play. Looks like a lot of good quality of life. The gunplay did look slow for me, and it was kind of like, okay, this looks easy as fuck.
also a grappling hook as well. I mean, one thing I would say is the boss didn't look easy whatsoever.
No, that boss looked easy. I'm sorry. That man
Really?
this is what he did. Literally, when the boss was shooting from the right, he just moved to the left. And that's all he was doing, was just holding this. And then then he went the other and shoot him back, but it didn't look like he was like in serious danger.
I'm talking about the boss that they did at the end.
Yeah, I did. I saw that with all the crazy. It looked like a bunch of stuff was thrown at him, but it looked extremely easy to dodge.
I mean,
like he didn't even have to use a dodge mechanic. He just leaned the joystick to the left and right. That's what I'm saying. It looked that because he's not showing off the gameplay, not showing off the quick dodges or anything, but he didn't even quick dodge it. He just went to the left and right. That's what I was saying. Like the
we're gonna see
gameplay.
at the end how it's gonna be.
Yeah, well, do we have time to pull it up? Or
not gonna lie, I wish they because I know they didn't showcase the other two Vault Hunter, but the second Vault Hunter they didn't even show his skills. They only showed the Siren skill, so
that is true, and I will say this: they did say they're going to do another showcase in June. So
yeah, so who knows?
I'm gonna let it slide because of that, and because that's two showcases within like before the game even comes out.
Yeah, and the last thing I'm trying to say is now you can min max your guns from multiple companies. Like you can have a Torg, what you call it, Torg clip, ammo clip with a Maliwan suppressor of what's wrong. Like you can build up a crazy weapon that way.
Yep, and the fact that also even though I know you said you didn't like the fact that they culled down on the legendaries, but they made the legendaries more legendaries and more like the fact that you earn your legendaries and the fact that the legendaries are a mixture of different companies' mechanics into one gun is actually a really good thing. I think that was a good addition for the game.
So
I don't know, three had too many legendaries. I don't care.
I enjoyed 3 legendaries. It's just there were too many of them. But I do enjoy that getting early legendaries instead needing to wait till level 30, 40. I do think that made it fun, more fun.
I mean, okay, so I understand. I mean, part of me kind of understands that the people want the legendaries now, but the problem is that if you can't level up a legendary with you, why would you want it early?
So this is how you solve the issue then. Make legendaries level up available. Not all of them. Make some of them level up available. Do something about that. You don't need to kill people enjoyment with legendaries just because there are too many legendaries. Make it so that you can sacrifice your own legendary to build up a better one. Something like that.
I will definitely say, but then again, they put so much emphasis on the guns, and it's like I said, Borderlands was the original looter shooter.
Yeah, I mean, basically
they kind of want to encourage you to use all the loot. So like if they were to give you an ability to level up your current loot, what's going to make you want to use other loot?
Okay, I get
And
you
they
on
put a
that.
lot. They put a lot of work into their loot, into all their guns
Yeah,
as far as a looter
but
shooter.
the issue is their best weapons are always locked behind the vault. That what you call it? That
Redo
the
the
loot
vault.
box. The loot
You can
box.
redo. I'm about to say you can now redo vaults now, so they kind
We're
of
gonna
solved
see
that.
how is that gonna be.
Yeah. So, but overall, I say Borderlands 4. I give it a pass. It was a good. I'll give it an 8 out of 10 because what they show off was really good, but the gameplay looked slow. I'm hoping that they show a little bit more fast-paced gameplay.
I'm gonna give it a 9, mostly because of the quality of life improvement, and it showcased that they are listening to their fan base. As for the gameplay, I'm just gonna say it's just that the person either needed to follow a script or didn't know how to play it. I mean, when you see how people play Doom, it just got to show sometimes not everyone's gonna be able to, showcase what a good gameplay is. This is why I think it's important. This is why I love what Guerrilla Games did when they unveiled Horizon Forbidden West gameplay. They literally hired Sunhill Legend from Twitter to be their gameplay master, and he did this game justice. Beyond
I didn't
justice,
know that.
even. Right, Kofi?
I didn't know that. I didn't know they brought Sunhill on there. He's so
Nah,
epic,
don't
man.
Sunhill Legend literally moved to the Netherlands for this.
That's dope, man. I had no idea that he was the one who showed off the game. You talking about against that elephant, right?
Yeah, nah, when they showcased gameplay, people clearly knew directly it was them. Because it had a gameplay, a stamp of improvement directly. You knew. You just
Yeah.
knew. This is Sunhill.
He's very
So,
good at controlling the camera angle. That's like
yeah,
something he's
I
particularly
do
good at.
think, especially when they removed the HUD, and you couldn't see her ammo or her health whatsoever. I do think it's important when you showcase your gameplay to have someone play the gameplay right.
You're so
Otherwise,
right.
you're gonna have moments like what Nappy thing. The game is
So
too slow, but we
you know
don't
what's
know if it's too slow or if just the person didn't play well.
can I go on a point too that a game that looks amazing that really made me frown when I watched the gameplay.
What
PlayStation
was that?
Access recently PlayStation Access recently listed showed 18 minutes of gameplay of Crimson Desert, and the person who played it was absolutely bad. And it made the game look like the combos don't work. And
Well,
like the
the
bosses
problem
were
with
super crazy looking, but like the guy was doing the same two attacks. And I'm like,
yeah,
oh, this looks really
Mm.
bad.
the problem with Crimson Desert is it's a live service game. It's gonna have a single player aspect, but it's gonna have a multiplayer and also and apparently from the look of it, characters are gonna be locked behind loot box apparently.
Oh,
So
interesting. I did not know that.
yeah, I had no idea. I had to learn that the hard way. But it's gonna have a single player story, but I don't know for what extent are they gonna make other character playable, because they they have multiple characters. So far I know there is a guy and there is a woman. And I truly believe you your first impression count. This is why when first Guardian of the Galaxy was revealed, people didn't jump from joy from it. But the end result for Guardian of the Galaxy was amazing. It's a great game to play. Just because of the very first reveal, people didn't jump on it.
Yeah, look like an Avenger clone.
Yeah, that might be a different story, but yeah. I think we moved on from Borderlands. Let's go
But yeah,
ahead. Anyone have anything else beside this for what's on your mind? Or can Pharaoh finally start the podcast? Well, with the actual
Oh,
topic now.
there may have been one more. I want to cover. Let me see. Anyone to be forgotten?
Xbox is the topic, right? So that's not it.
Yeah, Xbox is a topic. It's not them. It was
GTA 6 delay, is it that topic?
that's a topic.
That's a
All right.
topic.
Yeah, that's a topic for
Yeah.
tonight. But I'm gonna just make sure. I mean, one of the, G-Bay man had one, but guess what? G-Bay's not here. Nothing's on his mind.
Yeah.
Let's see. Yeah, I think that's it.
Yeah, let's
I think
move
that's
on.
it. Well, you've made it to this portion of the show where we can now focus on our main topics of tonight. And we are going to kick this off by discussing Grand Theft Auto 6 was delayed. We did get an official release date. It is May 26th, 2026. We didn't necessarily get any concrete reasoning as to why it was delayed. It was just a lot of
Okay, so
PR
from
speak.
Jason Schreier, apparently they delayed it to prevent crunch.
Yeah, they say to prevent crunch. I mean, I guess that gives them a year now from the announcement to release it. So yeah, I guess you could prevent crunch. I think it's probably more so to make sure that Grand Theft Auto 6 and the new GTA Online, whatever that may be, whatever enhancements that they have planned, those launched around at the same time. Maybe GTA Online wasn't ready along with GTA 6. Maybe they wanted to, make sure those two were released congruently. But it looks like, there's a lot of relief in the gaming industry. A lot of people were worried that their big games they were dropping this year may get swallowed up by GTA 6. And now GTA 6 is releasing in the early half of the year, which kind of helps developers and publishers out also because, the fall winter season is kind of like the holiday window where everyone's buying those big blockbuster games, so their game has a little bit more room to breathe. So I think it all worked out in the end. But let's see, who am I going with? Kofi, what are your thoughts on GTA 6 getting this delay? It releasing next year, May 26th, I think was the official release date, right before Memorial Day weekend. So when people get it, they'll be able to have a nice long Memorial Day weekend and do themselves GTA 6.
Yeah, I think the casual gamer who, they basically have just been playing GTA 5 online or bored with GTA 5 online and don't play much else than COD, they're probably pretty upset and making memes about how they're going to look like a skeleton when the game is actually released. But I think a lot of other people who might play at least 2 or 3 games a year already have other things that are lined up that they're going to enjoy just as much. And when I think about, you know, the expectations of what GTA 6 should be, um, I pray for Rockstar. To be honest, they're going to make a lot of money regardless, but they'll also be a pariah if they do anything that's controversial. So,
Well, this is going to be the most
um,
scrutinized game.
right. I mean, it's gonna be like Cyberpunk, right? Cyberpunk was scrutinized, but it made a lot of
It's
money.
gonna be scrutinized a lot harder than Cyberpunk.
Cyberpunk was
Yeah,
broken.
you have a Latina woman as the main character. Are you
Oh,
kidding me?
I
yeah,
don't
that's a
think
whole nother crew.
I don't think that has anything to do with it because GTA has always had different races of characters. It's never been
Are you for
one.
real, mate? Dude.
I mean, they have Italians. You have San Andreas with a black person. I mean, like, yeah, I don't think that's gonna be.
Yeah, but
That's
within this day and age, it's gonna be called woke. Come
Yeah,
on.
yeah. When the
I
last
don't.
GTA came out, it wasn't about that.
I don't think so.
2013.
I think the biggest thing that GTA is going to be criticized for is the fact that the last one they released was on the damn 360 PS3 era, and you made
I
us
don't think
wait
that's gonna
this
be the
long.
scrutiny.
I think that's where all the scrutiny is going to come from. You made us wait this long for a sequel. Everything about this game better be everything I imagined. And if it
Well,
falls
I can
short
see
of
the expectations.
my imagination in any way, shape, or form, I am going to crush this game.
I can agree with
I
that.
think that's going to be where it gets most of its scrutiny from. I think some of the things that you guys are saying are things that it will certainly garner some criticism for, but I think its biggest criticism will be for the fact that they made you wait over a decade for the next Grand Theft Auto.
Really? So I disagree. I think the biggest thing that they're gonna do is something really controversial with the price. They're gonna say something like, "Oh, we have all this extra
Oh,
content that's
Oh
planned."
yeah, they're
That's
gonna
They're
go
that.
throwing that.
90,
No,
They're
that
throwing
90
that
that
or
that's why I think
100.
they delayed it.
Well,
That was
hold on. Yeah. Exactly. Exactly. Like, you know what? You could just pay us like $120, but that hundred and
Yeah,
I
twenty
don't.
dollars is gonna get you like all this great DLC. It'll be
See,
all
yeah.
by
I
December
truly feel
all
it's
right.
gonna
2026.
be minimum 100.
No, I
You're
don't
Yeah,
think
not
they're gonna do all
kidding,
these crazy things
Sophie.
like buy like and then for online, Pharaoh, they're gonna have like like you can have extra garage space, but you're gonna have to buy like the extra expansion pack for Auto Online,
V
and
bucks.
I
I
think
What's not
don't.
that's
V
what they're gonna
bucks?
get
I
nailed.
Shark
don't.
cards.
I don't think that the base game will be $100, but I do think based on what we've seen this year, that when GTA 6 comes, we'll get another $10 price increase. I think the base game of GTA 6 will be $90, and I think the other additions will go all the way up to probably as much as 150.
Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah, I completely agree. And there's gonna probably be something that you could collect, like you said, with the 150.
Yeah.
They're gonna make it. I think what they would like is popularization of the in-game currency that you can buy for GTA, like V-Bucks for Fortnite.
Well,
So they're gonna be
You mean
like,
apparently,
oh,
shark cards? Shark cards is what they're
I
called.
don't I don't
I'm sorry, so I
I
didn't even
don't
know all
know
that.
about that because the EU just came down on Fortnite for
Uh,
in-game currency. So apparently they're trying to get rid of it. Governments are trying to get rid of
uh,
the in-game currency now.
well, they are. So
I mean,
what the
good for
EU
them.
has is doing is first they're making it where you can no longer you have to put the actual dollar amount equivalent next to the currency, and you can no longer make people buy odd amount of currency of the in-game currency or not in-game. You can't have a microtransaction where something's worth $5, but then you force the person to pay for like a $7 bundle, and then they have $2 left over, which is like a manipulative tactic to force you to keep on buying more currency or to buy more than what's needed. You have to be able to directly buy that amount for whatever currency's inside. Plus, they say after you have to give a time period to let the person return it, which the EU's trying to fight right now.
Yeah, so I think the in-game currency thing is going to be something that they don't even really
Yeah.
deal with because they're going to have to go back and change it once the EU does whatever they do.
Yeah. So I've been following that. It all started off with a EU government person recognizing a horse game, a horse mobile game that had terrible microtransactions. It was funny.
If governments actually knew what was going on in the gaming industry, we see a lot more changes. We see it a lot
Yeah.
faster.
Yeah, government don't pay attention to what's happening in the gaming industry,
Hey,
sadly.
you gotta give EU its credit. It's been changing. It made Apple got rid of the Lightning cable, but I don't want to talk too much about them.
Yeah.
That's going a little off topic.
Wait till they learn about DRM. Wait,
Hmm.
maybe one day.
Mm. I'm sorry, Kofi. We took over a little bit.
No, I don't even remember what I was talking about.
You were
But
talking about in-game currency in
Yeah.
GTA
oh
6.
yeah. I think that's gonna be the big thing, and custom controllers, and they're gonna want to try to get as much money back as possible. Even though if they had just priced this at 60, I mean, there might be physical copies actually running out again. Like it's crazy. So
Mm.
yeah, not not too concerned. I'm happy for Rockstar. I still find that GTA 2 is my favorite GTA ever. But
Damn, the top down. This
yeah, I just there's something about the top down that just like keeps it simple. I can go like crash some cars in a corner and try to outrun the cops. I love that, man. Um, that's just me. So yeah.
All right, all right. Um, for some reason I get the feeling that Zero is a GTA extraordinaire on his free time. Like he just likes to run people over and steal tanks and airplanes, all types of other shit. So, Zero, what are your thoughts on GTA getting delayed another year?
First and foremost, I wasn't blowing people up. That messes with your money. I sold copious amounts of drugs and stole a lot of cars.
Okay.
I actually have I've actually never finished GTA 5 because I spent almost all of my time in GTA Online.
Really?
Doing hood
Yeah,
rat stuff with your
I just
friends?
yeah,
Oh,
functionally
so
every time I get on, they be like, "You trying to get on?" Like, yeah, I guess I'll go do that then. So
any
like
role
I've
playing
never
servers?
no. My
Damn.
goal was to like be just the wealthiest man in any server I step into. With free to play methods. I did not buy a single shark card
Okay, okay, okay.
my
I
entire
respect you
time
for
with
that.
it. There are some very fun little cheats you can get around to, and then it just becomes a sort of like min max your time sort of deal.
Can't you like
So
rob other rich people to accumulate their wealth?
no, you can blow people up, which theoretically will cost them money, but like depending on who it is, you might run into a person who won't stop or who does buy shark cards. But funny enough, I spent a lot of time in servers that didn't have anybody in it because when you sell drugs or when you steal cars, everyone in the server is notified that you're doing this. And so the
Mm.
goal is to get from point A to point B. Like if I'm stealing a car, is to get from point A to point B without damaging the car or taking as little damage as possible. Now, of course, once everybody knows, the dude who spent $100 shark cards with his flying DeLorean is going to immediately blow you up, and that gets old real fast. um, so there's a bit of a PlayStation uh, sort of glitch that you can cause the system. I forgot what it is, like PAU something. Um, but effectively, I think what's happened is I set my ping so high um, that it only puts me in a server by myself, and then I can just do
Yeah.
whatever I want. And I spent a lot of time just doing that. When I wasn't like playing with friends, I did a bunch of the heists, which are incredibly fun. It can be a very entertaining experience, um, even if you are a free to play player. And again, I spent not a dime on any shark cards or anything like that. It's just really fun to do. That being said, GTA is just a game that will simply come when it comes. I am largely not too concerned or even like to think about like, oh, when is GTA dropping? Because it'll probably be here for the next 8 years. Like
Yeah.
some of you will have full-grown children in college by the time the next GTA comes out. And that's a crazy thing to say. um, so I do think it is going to be met with a lot of scrutiny. But I actually think for both reasons you Kobe and Pharaoh described. Like its scrutiny will be based on because we've waited this long, so it has to be the game that I think of. But I don't think you can separate that from a lot of people are already like, this isn't the game that I want because I don't want to play as a Latino woman. So they're already setting sights either high or low based on what they understand. And they're like, I wish it was back when it was just men doing cool stuff. And your
I told
mileage may
you it's
vary.
gonna be the Latino woman.
Yeah, like just a female protagonist in the GTA game probably is already going to turn a lot of people off.
Yep.
Yeah.
And our climate is just different because it wasn't this heightened in 2013 when
Right.
5 came out.
That's a different
Um,
era.
yeah, and also 5
Yeah.
still starred 3 men.
Yep.
So there's never been a female protagonist in the G.
There's
Yeah, I
not a
don't think
lot
so.
of there's not a lot of games or stories that feature hardened female criminals. Usually if there's like a female criminal, like she's like doing, you know, like higher type crime where she's not necessarily at risk of like physical violence. or
Yeah.
it's like a female like assassin movie, but there's never like, what a female character is going to be doing in a Grand Theft Auto game. Like we
Yeah.
really don't see that portrayed in any of the media forms that we either play or watch.
Yeah. And I think it would be cool. And there's the girl from GTA. Is either Vice? What? No, it's 3, because 3 is who's like all but I mean, in true GTA fashion, she's like a very early Trevor. She's just absolutely insane. And I believe she's the one who gets you started because she betrays you in the beginning of the game, and a large part is getting like back at her.
Yeah.
Which could be that like this new character could be molded out of her, and that's fine. I'm just excited to see what I think GTA really shines on the little things. Like just how interactive is this world going to be? Just how big is it going to be? Because they've always seemed to sort of master a world that never feels too big, but doesn't feel too empty either. That are usually pedestrians walking across the street, talking, doing something. And 5, you can go to movie theaters, play golf, do all this other type of stuff. So I would love to see how much further they take that concept and just what you can do. And hopefully the characters are fun. I mean, this game will live or die on its characters. And if they can't really nail that, I don't know what to do. And I don't know who's still around from the old guard of Rockstar. Like the 2 brothers are gone, right? They've been gone for a long time.
And Yobi said that the female character you're referencing, she was in GTA 3 and in San Andreas.
That's right. She is in San Andreas. Yes.
Yeah. So,
What's up, Yobi?
yeah, what's going on, Yobi? Appreciate you coming
What's
through.
going on, Yobi?
Yeah. Any other thoughts, Zero?
No, Catalina. That's her name.
Okay.
No, man. Like, we will play it when it comes out. Like, it'll still sell a ridiculous amount of money. I do know that much.
Yeah, I don't know if it'll outsell 5 because 5 was just
It's an
out
anomaly.
for so long. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like people have bought
Also,
multiple
pandemic.
copies of that. Pandemic, but people bought multiple copies of that game because games didn't, travel with you from 360 to Xbox and PS3 to PS4 to PS5 quite the same as they do now. So people bought multiple copies of it. And, some
Yeah, on
people
the Epic Game Store, I think it was free for a little while
yeah.
because they were promoting the store, and there's still people buying it.
I mean,
Yeah.
it was free on PlayStation Network for a while if you had it before we
Oh,
switched
yeah,
over
that
to the
too.
new system. Like, it has been.
Still buying the games like crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
So it's I think it's in Game Pass now. I just got the Game Pass deal with the new GTA update. So a lot of people were telling people that like the best place to play it was on Xbox app on PC because it had all the bells and whistles now or something like that.
Wait, the PC port version of it is on Xbox Game Pass? Because
Yeah.
that's
with the new
that's-
everything.
interesting, because that's the one that has the role-playing servers. So that would be cool.
Yeah, I just heard people talking about it. I haven't done it myself, but that's kind of what I've heard people saying. That if you haven't really, if you want to try GTA 5 with all the new bells and whistles, Game Pass is the place to do it, as opposed to having to wait to see it when it comes out on 6. Some of the updated graphics, and I don't know all the details of what they did with the new patch, but apparently some of that stuff is gonna cross over into 6. I don't know. But yeah,
Interesting.
Happy. Sure, you're a GTA player. You look like you like to do hood rat shit with your friends every now and then.
Yes, I do.
How you feel about this delay?
So the way
Also
what's up?
factoring in that you are a PC player, and that now that it
Yes.
is delayed till 2026, there's a possibility you don't get the game until 2027.
possibility. I hope that's not the case. I already was prepared for the year wait, but it was okay because we had GTA Online, which is still going to be available for PC players. Which I was like, okay, at least we get that. The delay of GTA 6 is kind of interesting because the way I looked at it was that I saw the news that market shareholders were pissed off at Rockstar because a lot of people bought a lot of investments into Rockstar because the game was coming out. Just for them to delay it for a year, and now they feel like their profits are now, or their money is stuck in Rockstar for another year. So, and it'll be, especially with the current announcement that Xbox and Nintendo did with their $80 games. I think that Rockstar kind of wanted to hold off releasing their games so that way they can sell it for a higher price down the line.
Yeah, I
which agree. Yeah, I don't think it's for.
Ask 80, 90, even 100 for it.
I think it'll be 90.
Yeah,
I think it's gonna be a $10 incremental raise every year until the next generation drops in 2027. And I think when 2027 hits and that new Xbox comes out or whatever, I think the standard price for games, at least on the new Xbox, will be $100.
Yeah, so that's why I really think they hold off the game because they didn't want to release it this year because they was like, wait, if people are they're making games $80, what would the price be for next year? Could be $100. We could sell this for $110 for all we know with the bundle. So because Rockstar, all they care about is Monday. If they didn't care about money so much, they would have still supported Red Dead Online, criminally underrated online experience that has been abandoned. And it's like, so I don't really think Rockstar's doing it to honestly polish. What I'm scared for what Rockstar to do with GTA Online is they make it where you charge for mods. I would be extremely upset if they charge people to mod GTA Online. I don't know why, but I just have this feeling that they may actually do something scummy like that.
I've heard, I don't know how much it's gonna stick, but I've heard that they've kind of trying to emulate the Fortnite Roblox thing where you can kind of develop within GTA 6. For some people say that.
I mean, but what about the current online role playing servers? Like, because Rockstar doesn't really make any money off of the GTA Online when it comes to role playing servers.
Yeah, I think they're trying to change that to where they do make money,
and that's what scares me.
Yeah,
I like the fact that we get so much content for free.
You got T Grizzly making $50,000 a month off his roleplay server. You don't think Rockstar wants a little bit of that?
I mean, they make their money on the sales of GTA Online alone.
Hey, he's making $50,000 a month.
Have you ever heard of something called too much money?
No, no. Rockstar has more than enough money.
Hey, again, do I need to repeat myself? Have you ever heard of something called too much money? Yes or no?
Referring to as what? Too much money for the person?
Like
no, too much. Someone making too much money.
Oh yes, they do that. When somebody's making too much money, they're going to be like, "Where's my share?" Heck, that's America.
Yeah.
Every time someone makes too much money, Uncle Sam knocks on the doors. Hey, by the way, where's our cut? For you to continue doing business in America,
this is what's gonna happen with Rockstar. Why would they allow you guys to make money out of the mod and not taking a cut?
Majority. Well, so the thing about it is like most of it's just community donations just to keep the servers online because these are people's like legit like servers they leave in their closets and it's like a fundraiser type of thing. Similar thing with Minecraft. Basically private servers where somebody sets up a server in their closet, every bunch of people jump in and is like, hey, for me to keep this server alive, you can donate. You don't have to, but it will help keep the servers alive. And that's how community is built. Now, Minecraft has private servers made by Microsoft, and they have servers that is hosted by Microsoft that you could pay to get into. So it would be really scummy if Rockstar makes it where you can no longer like have these private, especially these role playing servers. Like these role playing servers are amazing,
I don't
and if
think
we
they'll
have
get
to
rid of
pay
it.
just to,
I don't think they'll get rid of
yeah,
it,
that's what
but
I'm
I
saying.
think they'll monetize it for themselves in a way where they're able to make some money. I'm sure they want to make some money.
Just leave the community driven ones alone. That's all I ask. I don't care what you do with anything else. Do not touch the community driven ones. The community driven ones are for us. We like it, and we like the fact that it took a community of people to just hold it up for us rather than relying on Rockstar.
You know for a fact they're gonna do that. Come on.
They better not. I hope not. I mean,
Hey.
that is my fear, that when GTA 6 comes out next year, and possibly with the GTA Online, that they're just gonna say, screw it. We're taking everything. We're taking it all away. Or we're not taking it all away. Hey, you want to keep that role playing server online?
Hey, money.
It's going to cost you $15 Rockstar tax to keep that server online. Even if you make your own custom server and try and completely separate it from Rockstar servers, they're probably going to find a way. So that's what I'm worried about.
Yep.
So, but those are my thoughts.
Companies always want more money, eh?
And are you a GTA player, Omar? So if not, what are your thoughts on the delay in general? Because it still has an impact. It still has an impact on games that are dropping around, like games you care about that are.
Yeah, this is what I was about to say. Like, it's not like we're not eating well this year to the point where GTA was needed. Like now, first of all, do you know when I knew that GTA was delayed?
When
is that?
When we got the release date for Yote. That's why I'm like,
because Yote's releasing in September, right?
Yeah, no, but no, the thing is, PlayStation and Rockstar, they're partners, eh?
Well, all of them are partners at this point, yeah.
I'm pretty sure they knew about Rockstar delay. Otherwise, they wouldn't have released the release date for Yote right now. This is what I knew. Other than that, it makes sense why they delayed it. I do think it. How do I say this? One, I forgot who said it about the $80. I think maybe. I do think they're targeting something like that. I do think they wanna go the $80 route. Me personally, I truly believe they might reach the $100 route, and I'm not being funny about it. I'm being legit about it. I truly, because it's Rockstar. Who's gonna tell them no? You can't charge 100.
I think the base game will be $90. I think.
You know their fan base are gonna buy it, even if it was 200. Come on.
No,
Like
there is a point where where the masses won't be able to afford that game. Like if you put it at 200, the game will still sell well, but you will price out a good portion of your consumer base if you're selling a game for $200. The base game.
Collector edition get sold out all the time.
Yeah, but they're not making 10 million collector's editions. They're making a couple 100,000 collector's editions.
Yeah, okay, usually. But still, they get sold out all the time.
Yeah, for sure.
To me, it's like I truly believe it's ask and demand. What you call it? I forgot what the thing is. Something demand. But second point is, people want, and people are gonna buy.
Now, I'll agree with you that, like I said, the base game will be 90, and the ultimate edition of the game will be like 150, and that like more than 70% of people will buy the 150 edition. I'll meet you there on that, but nobody's buying a base game for $200.
No, 200. No, 200 was exaggerating, but I do believe they're gonna fork 100 for it. Come on.
I'm gonna say 90. I'm saying 90.
You know what I think GTA is going to do? when they're going to release the game for like $90, and then GTA Online, and then the GTA Online servers with a fee, and then a GTA asset store for you to make to purchase assets for your online server.
I think they're gonna say because it's up online, it's gonna be 90. I mean 100. So they're gonna use GTA Online to raise the price to 100. I like when that analyst, I forgot who analyst it was, had said that he can see GTA being 100. Where do you think he got it from? Like I truly, where there's smoke there's fire. Where there's smoke there's always fire. This is what I truly believe. We might actually go the direction to the 100 with GTA. That's just a reality we need to just accept. Like Microsoft and Nintendo just got their game for 80. What make it? What do you think is gonna happen next year? Uh, what makes you think that Rockstar not gonna say, yeah, we have online, we're gonna ask 20 or 100 for it? Like, I truly believe they're gonna find a way to raise the price.
Okay.
But yeah, for me, I was never that much of a GTA gamer, so this doesn't impact me as much. And if people gonna play it, hey, good on them. I might try it myself, cause who knows? I will enjoy it. Last GTA I ever played, either San Andreas or GTA Vice City, like long, long time ago. So yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see what's gonna happen with GTA.
Okay.
But one thing for sure, Rockstar are planning, and they have a, a goal, and it is to make you guys out of your money. Cause you suckers gonna pay, no matter what.
Yep. And we looks
Yeah.
like we finally got Jubei. I don't know what time zone he's
Wait,
operating on, but
he's alive?
Jubei came by, yes.
He's alive? Damn.
like he's operating on
Unfortunately,
Uh,
I'm
Unfortunately, damn.
Damn. What's up, dude?
Yeah, man, I've been.
life is super shitty right now. I don't even want to talk about
Oh,
I'm sorry.
yeah. Hopefully it gets better.
Talk to me about how shitty this GTA 6 delay is. How about that?
it. Not, I don't care. I have too much shit to play. I really don't give a
Yeah, I
Oh.
think that makes sense.
Alright.
But do you think it's gonna be 90 or 100?
I'm not starving for games.
Do you expect the GTA 6 release to or pre-order announcement to come with a price increase on the current rate that we just got on game?
They have given Take-Two an inch. They are going to take the marathon at this point. Yes, we're going to see 99.99 for that GTA.
Okay.
If not, it'll be a damned miracle. But yes, we will. And people are going to buy it. They're going to buy it in droves. We're going to be talking about record-breaking revenue in that game. So that's what we're going to be talking
Told
about.
you. So
Along with the record, with a lot of layoffs before that, though.
No, when has Take-Two laid off before GTA?
I don't think
That's a good point.
I don't think they will because
I've never heard it. I've never heard of somebody on the Rockstar team getting jettisoned for a GTA launch.
because so many people are gonna buy that game, they're gonna start breaking it. They're gonna find things that QA testers couldn't find. One, and then two, they don't. They have no idea what their server overload is gonna look like, and how many people they're gonna need.
Hey, with the prices of everything going up, them servers, man, they're gonna cost some money.
So yeah, I mean, I don't think they're gonna get rid of it. Now, post launch, 3 to 6 months later on some Marvel Rivals type stuff, maybe, but for launch, I can't see it. But Yobi did want to point out that Rockstar acquired CFX .re, the team behind 5M and Red M.
Mm-hmm.
So, and he's just pointing out that yeah, Rockstar not missing out on that
Yeah.
server money. They gonna get
No, leave my
money.
private server. If I have a private server in my closet running a personal server, and I just so happen to get donations to keep it on, leave me the fuck alone.
They want
Get
that.
your own. Make your own online servers, and I will make my own role playing servers.
They
And
gonna
we'll just leave it at that.
They gonna come like Nintendo for that money. Oh,
No, they ain't.
speaking of which,
Don't touch my
did
money.
y'all while we're on quick tangent, y'all saw Nintendo shook down somebody who made a mock-up of the Switch 2 before release because it was too close to what it actually ended up being?
Yep.
Wow, yeah. But we
Nintendo
know
don't play.
Nintendo got them goons.
Yeah,
on
but
there.
the person didn't have any information. He just went off of publicly available information and then made an assumption of what the next Switch would look like, and it was pretty damn close.
I mean, Nintendo don't play. Don't fuck with them. Stop fucking with
What
them.
happened to him? Is he still alive?
Nothing happened yet, but they're suing the company for doing a mock-up of what they think the Switch 2 might look like.
I mean,
They're not gonna
le-
win, but it's just more Nintendo bullshit.
I mean, it's Nintendo.
it's the fact that they're allowed to
I
do that.
say it always. Nintendo can get away with murder.
I'm about to say they literally went after a content creator just because he made the song "Saving Mario," because they didn't like how it portrayed Peach.
Oh, Peach is a hoe. Who keep getting kidnapped like that? She want that.
Okay.
That song's a hit though. I like that song.
It's a
I
slap.
know, but they had they made him take it off of YouTube though, even though everyone else is reposting it. But it's not on that. It's not on his channel no more.
Dang, you gotta support him by any means necessary. But anyway, let's go on to our next topic. Like we swapped Kofi out for Jubei. I think Jubei was just lurking in the shadows because he knew he was getting close to the stuff he wants to talk about as Captain Xbox. And
Okay.
we're on to the Xbox earning reports now that we got, and just I'm not gonna stay strictly to the earning report because we got a lot of information about Xbox outside of the earning report. But I mean, it was really favorable for Xbox. I don't think people were anticipating, it to make the leap that it did. Let me just go over some of the high bullet points. They ended the quarter as a top publisher by pre-orders and pre-installs on both Xbox and PlayStation. Game Pass revenue was up 45%. I had the other one. Content and services were up, I think, like 60%. And they passed. They were really happy about their cloud numbers. They passed like 150 million hours played. They are now over 500 million monthly active users. So, pretty good report from on the Xbox side. The stock market reacted very favorably to the earnings call and the success of Xbox in particular, and the stock has saw a nice little jump as a result. Along with that, we got some news that while the shareholders are happy, the gamers are hurting because Microsoft decided to raise prices on not just games, but they're going by the variable pricing model as we've seen with Oblivion and now the Gears remaster, which we'll talk about in the next topic. But their premium titles, and I guess by premium we'll just start with Call of Duty. that game right now is going to launch at $80 for the base game. That's not including the higher tiers of the game. And that looks like it's going to be the standard pricing for what they deem their premium content going forward. So maybe Fable's going to be $80. Gears of War E-Day, $80. I don't know if they consider State of Decay a premium product, so maybe that might be like $60 or $50, like kind of like a Hellblade was. Maybe like a Perfect Dark by their quadruple A studio, The Initiative. Maybe that's an $80 game. So we saw that. But beyond just that, they also raised the price of controllers by, I believe, $10. They've also raised the prices on their consoles to the point where they're still the cheapest point of entry with the Series S, but now the Xbox 2 terabyte costs more than the PS5 Pro as a result of these changes.
Which is crazy.
Yes. So we'll have to see, like, because like this, like, you know, Nintendo announced theirs, Xbox announced their changes like 2 weeks later. PlayStation has announced price hikes in countries that are not the United States. They've avoided raising prices in the United States. So do we see another price increase from PlayStation, even though they just recently announced some price increases to their services? I'm not sure if they announced a console price increase recently. So we'll just kind of have to see where that goes. But we're just seeing a raise in prices, even though we're seeing groundbreaking success from Xbox. It's kind of like salt in the, I ain't gonna say salt in the wound, because we've been getting a lot of really great games, but it's definitely like a kick in the ass to see that like Xbox finally gets this great cadence, and they feels like they're doing like they're the most consumer friendly platform with the different methods that you can access to play anywhere and all this other stuff, and then they go ahead and do something like this. I'm gonna kick this off with Captain Xbox. I know I've said a lot, so you can attack this topic, you know, kind of from any angle that you would like to. Just kind of laying out everything we got from Xbox the past week. So what are your thoughts? You know, starting with the earning call and everything else that's happened with Xbox the past week outside of Gears of War. So that's our final topic.
Despite going triple wood in console sales, they posted a record quarter. I can't say I'm surprised. Like, everybody's all like console sales. We know that they have not broken even on a console in the history of ever.
The platform is bigger than the console, and the games are bigger than the console. So
games are bigger than the console. Like Xbox
and that's
now
for every
Surface.
That's for every console maker. I mean, games are the number one thing.
Yeah. But no, like Xbox is now like Surface, you know. Does Microsoft need to release Surface? No, they're on billions of devices. It's just Windows. But they also make one if you want one from them too.
Yeah.
So it's Microsoft being Microsoft. Earnings call. I mean, if you look at like, you know, just the trajectory of their quarters, just you watch up until like ABK, and that shit just skyrockets and goes through the roof.
Oh, that was also something I forgot to mention. Xbox is supposedly supposed to hit over 50 million Game Pass subs by the end of the year. So that's also another thing that we heard out of this.
That's beautiful. I don't know if that's true, but that's beautiful.
So they're trending towards crossing 50 million.
Huh?
Was that from the conference call?
No, it wasn't from the conference call. It was just other like rumors and leaks that we got as around these earnings calls and everything that came out.
Gotcha.
PC Game Pass is apparently like doing very
PC Game Pass.
If you Google it, it says they're at 34 million right now.
Well, 34 million was the last. That was the last one they reported like 3 years ago.
Yeah, that was February.
What about,
that was last year. That was February 2024.
What about Xbox Game Pass? Where is that at?
Well, it's
No,
all
that's
just
saying
Game
it's on
Pass. They
Game
don't
Pass.
separate them.
It's all Game Pass.
Yeah, they don't separate them. Like Game Pass.
Whether it's
Oh,
on
they combine them. Gotcha.
because here's the thing: if you have Ultimate, you also have Game Pass PC. There's no way to split that. Do you see what I mean?
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah,
They
so
combine
So
them.
I would say the only one that they may not include as far as like Game Pass numbers is maybe Game Pass Core. Because Game
or
Pass Core, you're only paying for online. You're not actually paying for like the service.
yeah, if they were using like core numbers, I'm pretty sure we'd be in the hundreds
They'd
already.
already be like probably at like at 100
Yeah,
million already.
yeah. It's just a different thing because that's just the online access, right? It has no access to the Game Pass library or anything like that.
But they do have their own
So,
library. It's like only 20 games.
but not like the real library.
Yeah, that's what I'm
Like
saying.
here's like some shit because we're not giving you free games on a monthly basis anymore. There you go. That's what they got.
Yeah, it's like the games change like every like 90 like every like 3 months you might get one game switched out for another, but it's not. It's a pretty stagnant 20 game. But yeah.
Yep.
Anything else you got, Jubei?
Like everybody's all this doom and gloom about the $1 trillion company in the room. It's just crazy. They're not getting out of the console market because they have money.
Oh,
Like,
there's also something that I wanted to point out to you, Jubei. In the press release for Gears of War, not talking about Gears of War, but in the press release for Gears of War, Xbox may have accidentally leaked its next platform because
where they said Xbox PC. Yeah, I
Xbox
saw that.
PC. So it looks like the hybrid PC thing is not only true, but that they're gonna have their own dedicated full gaming OS. Where
But we knew this.
you can build a PC.
But they're partnering with Steam though. That's one that I heard.
Yeah, because it's gonna be a gaming OS. It's not gonna be Windows. It's gonna be possibly
Yeah, like the Steam OS is its own OS.
No, but when I'm saying as its own OS, I mean like it'll be separate from Windows possibly, where you won't have all the bloat of Windows. You'll be able to build a PC and install the Xbox OS, and it would just be a pure gaming version.
Yeah, that's similar to. Yeah, that's similar. Steam Deck, you can actually Steam OS doesn't need Windows. You can just have Steam OS on there. So I know they were partnering with that. I didn't know how far they got into it.
Are you talking about as far as the Steam Deck is concerned, or you're talking about like just a full-fledged PC with only the Steam OS?
You can technically people have done that. People have made full-fledged PCs with just the Steam OS, just for shits and giggles to test it out.
Okay,
it works.
But it's just
so yeah, it's not common, but it works.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Hell of a PC performance bump though when you don't have all the other shit running in the background.
Yeah, for sure. That's what I'm saying. So, interesting thing. But did you have any comments on that, Jubei, along with everything else? Xbox related.
Xbox PC. I don't think that they can call it that. That's going to be really stupid. Don't call it that.
They're probably
at this point,
it's still at this point, but they're just like.
I mean, Xbox Prime is a dope name. They need to stick with that.
Let's see. So if Jubei doesn't have any other thoughts regarding all this wonderful Xbox news you got this past week, any thoughts on the price hike? Are you upset? Kind of some of you saw coming.
As a Game Pass member, 17, I'm not upset about any price hikes because I'm not paying $80 for an Xbox game ever. So, just me. No, I'm not upset about it. Nintendo threw down the gauntlet, and people sold that shit out and showed them that it's okay. Why would I be upset with them? I'm upset with the gamers that sold that shit out and said it was okay. Switch 2 pre-orders should have went triple wood. Them games shouldn't have had any crazy pre-order numbers, but they will,
I just want to
and that's
remind
on
you,
us.
Jube,
I
that
can't.
even the Xbox One pre-orders sold out completely. Like that's just what
They
happens
did.
with a next generation. Your diehards are
No,
gonna
I'm
go
not.
out.
I'm not talking about the console though. I'm talking about the games.
Uh,
The games themselves, you could not buy them because they're gone.
yeah, but
So
always
that tells
digital,
me
always digital.
consumers were like, yeah, since consumers were like, nah, this is fine, this is okay. So if I'm gonna be mad at anybody, I'm going to be mad at the people that did all those pre-orders and shit for the games.
Hmm,
Said $80 is okay. Yes, please more.
okay, all right. Now I think I'm gonna go to Mr. Run Me My Games now. So Mr. Run Me My Games, you got all this great Xbox news, but then end of the week they smack you with price hikes. I know you're not the finance guy, so how you feeling about these price hikes? You can comment on the earnings if you want. You can comment on the trending towards 50 million Game Pass subscribers. Do you think it's kind of a reaction to the prices that Nintendo put out? What are your thoughts about all this regarding Xbox?
I certainly don't think it's I actually don't think it's a reaction to the price Nintendo put out. Well, not in an immediate sense, right? Like they probably, a lot of people make a lot of money to determine how much these things are going to cost.
Hmm.
And I don't think it's just like, oh, Nintendo switch it up on us, so we got to do it. Particularly Nintendo of all systems, like both Sony and Xbox have functionally said, like, we don't really view Nintendo as a competitor.
Yeah.
So like we're fine. So their price hikes should have nothing to do with anybody else because they're not competing with them. That being said, it's just like the Nintendo announcement. Like it's good to hear initially, and then like you sober up, and it's like, ah, come on, guys. Like this kind of makes it a little less than fun again. For me, it like really does not give me any real incentive to ever like buy a game on Xbox.
Well,
And
they're just announcing for their first party, so it doesn't matter where you buy it. It's gonna be that price.
And it's true, but it's just like I mean, sure, like the price would be the price, and like the companies will use whatever reasoning they think is proper to like charge us whatever it is. I'm never a fan for it. I simply understand how it operates.
Yeah.
So I'm not gonna like work myself up over it because worst case scenario, and then you just stop playing, right? And it's like, well, this is no longer it for me. But I guess we'll see. Like the earning call, I'm happy to hear. But like it's always with question marks in my head, and only because it's like, yes, Microsoft made money. That's what they do. It's not like a shocking or surprising thing to me. And as much as they want to be separate, Xbox is Microsoft and Microsoft is Xbox. They are one and the same.
Yeah, they're not like LinkedIn where they're split off and
Yeah,
Microsoft
like they're not
owns
in their own little fiefdom just existing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like Microsoft is really good on that. So, it's as usual, if you're gonna this money better go towards running me more of my games.
Hey, they gave you like what, 5 this month? Something like that.
Well, specifically from them.
They gave you South and
because I've never, I've never
like 4. They gave you Towerborn, South of Midnight, Oblivion.
I want South of Midnight, Oblivion.
I feel like there's one more.
No.
Maybe I'm not missing one.
No, but I mean, like earlier they've given me 33 Immortals.
Yeah, 33 Immortals and
yeah.
Expedition 33. I mean, they paid for those games to be in the service, but still games. As long as you're
I mean, as I understand, at the moment, 33 Immortals, the only place you can play it is on Xbox. I don't think it's on PC yet.
That'd be interesting if it's not on PC yet. Usually everything is.
Yeah.
Usually Steam is like the home of we get everything first.
Yeah, I could be wrong, but I thought, like, in a weird way, like, this game did not show up on Steam.
Wait, Expedition 33 is not on PC?
No, 33 Immortals.
Oh,
not
33
Expedition 33.
Immortals.
Yeah. That's the game where you can play like 33-player co-op. It's like a roguelike.
It's a 33 co-op roguelike one. Yeah. But I say all that to say, like, we will see how this works out for Xbox. I'm not a fan of the new price hikes overall in gaming in general. No matter how they try to justify anything, all of you are like billion-dollar companies. I just simply do not care. But we will do our best to make it through and survive. It just really solidifies like Game Pass is just going to be for Xbox games, particularly for Xbox first-party studios. There's probably a very little chance that I will buy any physical edition of any of the games, unless you just got to really sell me on the idea that I want to support this.
Xbox doesn't
I
even
need
make
these little
physical games
discs.
anymore.
Do they actually? That's a good question. You can still walk into a store and get an Xbox game, though, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
But they don't make a lot. But they don't make a lot of physical games anymore.
Yeah, they haven't completely given up the ghost on it.
There's no point if they're gonna have a PC type
It's not a
console.
matter of giving up. It's a matter of we don't want the cost of making games on disc and shipping them out. They rather just.
And they've already seen majority of their users are digital. They've seen the data. They know this.
It's a money thing.
They're a computer company. Like, they don't make software that's on disc anyway. So, like, they know exactly what the trend is.
You can't even buy Windows on disc anymore, can you? You gotta like download it.
No, it's all code. Yeah.
No, you get a Windows. If you get a Windows license, it's now a USB stick.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You got to put it on a USB stick, and then they're like, no, we're not paying to put our OS on a disc.
Yeah.
You're gonna download it on a thumb drive, and you're gonna put it on your new computer. Like, yeah, so that's just kind of how they do things now. So,
like always with Xbox, I remain cautiously optimistic.
all right. And I got everyone except Omar. Omar, what are your thoughts regarding all things Xbox you heard this week, whether it be the earnings call, the 50 million Game Pass subs that are supposedly on the way, price hike? What stood out to you most, this particular week with all this Xbox news?
Well, congratulations to Xbox on being the biggest publisher of the year.
Well, of the quarter at least. They probably They probably still will be the biggest publisher of the year with the output that they're having.
Games this year, yeah, makes sense. But besides the point, the price hike is a bit more. It's crazy that the 2 terabyte Series X cost more than the Pro. Like, that shit is wild.
I'd have to look at the storage on the PS5 Pro. How much storage does the PS5 Pro have?
That was 1 terabyte.
1 terabyte. Yeah, I mean,
wait, the Pro?
Yeah.
2.
Oh, it's 2 terabytes.
It's this?
Correct.
So they both have 2 terabytes.
Correct.
That is crazy. Yeah, that is crazy.
Yeah, this is why.
That's what I was like.
It's absolutely crazy.
Yeah,
like
that is insane.
I don't know what they were thinking with it. Like, to me, it feels like apparently from the rumors is PlayStation was the only one that actually, well, Sony was the only one that took Trump's threat seriously and allocated their their production towards Japan, and that's why we might not see a price hike from PlayStation.
Here's the thing. I think there's something that we're missing here. So I am thoroughly convinced Xbox's next console is coming out in 2026. With that being said, if they have not turned profit on this console, we're in the sell-off phase. They just want to get rid of all of their inventory, and a price
But
hike
that
is a
makes no
way.
sense.
Listen, a price hike is a way to turn a profit on these. If they've been, they are like, we are no longer subsidizing particular console.
Yeah, I
They may
think
not be
subsidizing is
subsidizing
done for the
any
entire
particular
industry.
console. They are done. They're done with the subsidizing part. They are done eating the cost for these consoles. So what we're seeing is the price that maybe this shit should have been in order for them to turn a profit, and we were at their, we lucked out and was like, oh yeah, we'll eat that. They're done eating that when they know they have a console coming.
And
So between tariffs and all that, they're literally just like, fuck it. Here's what it needs to sell, so we can at least get $1 off of these consoles. There you go, and that's where we're at.
yeah,
It's still crazy. No matter how you
It,
try to
it, it
minimize.
is crazy, but like I said, they don't care about
it
console
is.
sales. But if they have the inventory and they can turn $1, people are still buying them, unfortunately, or fortunately for Microsoft. So
I agree
regardless
that
of
it's
how we
crazy.
personally feel about it, and it is crazy, but I see what I mean, I could be wrong, but I see what they're doing
But the thing
if
is,
they are indeed doing that.
Xbox and PlayStation, and in particular, they can't continue to sell their consoles at a subsidized cost when they have all these customers out here going out and buying these handhelds for $200 more than their console. Like a Asus ROG is more than a Series X, or it was before the price hike.
But it also has Windows installed. It also can be a PC.
They don't care about none of that.
It's,
Just like they know that most
you
people who bought the device didn't care about none of that. They just see that it's a gaming console selling more than their gaming console, and they
for
don't
a
like
good reason. Even though we can play AAA games at 720p and some at 540p, like Xbox can't play. I can't play an Xbox on the go, and
You can play
if I have to use a
Xbox on the go. You
network.
got to use cloud, but you can play it on the go.
I don't want that input latency. Even with the fastest direct connection to my phone and the 5G crazy internet or connected to Wi-Fi, there is still that input latency.
Oh, I
It's still
agree.
not good for competitive shooters.
I agree.
Once it becomes good for competitive shooters, that's when I'll be impressed and be like, okay, cloud game is where it's at.
I
Because
don't
every
think
time you
cloud
plug,
gaming will ever be there. Like Nvidia would be the first to get there, and Nvidia's not there. So I don't think we're gonna get there anytime soon. Like
yeah,
it's not enough server farms in the world that you can guarantee everyone a fast, stable connection in a competitive gaming environment.
yeah, we'll
And we
see.
live we
But
live near those. We live near the server farms. We're right in the DMV. There's plenty
I
of
know.
server farms around us. So if we're having input
Yeah, trust me,
latency
I'm aware.
issues, then you know,
You also got the West Coast too. They got their server factory farms as well,
yeah. But I'm not.
and Silicon Valley.
I'm not over there complaining about input latency, so I don't know. But if I'm over there and I try it out and there's input latency, I'll complain. But over here, Game Pass, the cloud has been pretty good to me when I've used it, but I've only really used it for like single player games. I'm sure for uh, something competitive, I'm sure it would suck. Agree.
Yes, it would. Single player games is where that's where Game Pass honestly shines to me. Competitive shooters, like I played Halo and COD. COD surprisingly a little bit better than Halo, but not the preferred experience, not the preferred platform to play on when it comes to gaming. Yes, by the way, Yobi, yes, I did hear about China. They did launch their 10G internet and 10G towers. Actually, if you want to talk about United States had denied a bill that would allow 6G towers in the United States because they believe in the conspiracy theories of radiation, and basically those towers will apparently fry us. That's what Congress people believe, which is why we don't have it.
Too many
We
old
don't have
people.
what?
Too many old people in Congress, basically.
Bro,
The people in
term
people in
limits. Term limits.
yeah, they actually literally had the discussion and a vote on 6G towers, and United States said turned it down. But when you hearing some of their responses was just like none of this was confirmed. But yeah,
Okay.
Like these, it's pretty bad. But these congressmen are at the point in their lives where they're asking their children and grandchildren for advice on if they should pass certain bills. I guarantee you, like, so what is 6G supposed to do? Why do you guys need
yeah.
it? Why am I voting for this?
No. What got me is, I mean, look at our Secretary of Health, bro. That man said, "Oh, there's like fetal matter in our vaccine. If you don't shut the entire hell up, you damn
All right.
brain worm
And
rotted
then
ass
people
bastard,
voted for him.
I'm over
Hey,
it."
you do.
Oh god.
He is brain dead, but what does it say about the
No,
people that
he
voted for him?
literally had a worm in it. He literally had a worm in his brain. So you're not wrong. Part
That's
of
Like
his brain
crazy.
is
he
missing.
is so brain dead, but what does it say about the people that voted for him?
Dang.
Well, nobody voted
That
for our Secretary of Health except
Yeah.
Trump.
that gets
Yes.
picked by the
You get picked by Congress. Congress said, "Yeah, we want that guy."
Yeah.
So these old bastards, these old stupid bastards, are ruining
yeah,
everything.
they're the reason why we don't. They're the reason why we don't have 6G. We're stuck on that 5G.
And
They said 5G is good enough for us.
5G is not good enough, but it's not bad either. Not bad.
Well, we don't even have
went from-
5G all over the
you-
United
you-
States, which is the sad part.
And we got fake 5G for the most part. 5G is really like 4G plus for.
It depends on the area, but yes, you're correct. Unless you live in like a major city somewhere, you ain't getting that.
Yeah, like a lot of times when you
No,
have
sure.
5G, you're really getting like 4G plus.
Mhm.
Not quite 5G. Yeah.
There's 5G, and then there's that other thing that pops up, like symbol changes, and that's not everywhere.
And but with that being said, we can go ahead and jump into our final topic of the day, which was kind of like some breaking news that I don't think many were expecting to be announced today. I think people were expecting the announcement, but I think a lot of people thought this would be something that would be in the Xbox showcase, and that is that the Gears Remastered collection was announced. It is coming sometime in August. Am I correct on that?
August 26th.
Yeah, there we go. August 26th. I wanted to say August 25th, but I knew I'd probably be wrong.
It looks like 2025 is the year of the 20-year-old remaster.
So yeah, so we are getting the Gears Remaster, and despite rumors that it wouldn't come with multiplayer, it is coming with multiplayer. And it is going to be a $50 game. Last I checked.
No, it's
Pretty
40.
impressive with multiplayer.
40? Okay.
It's $39.99. It is $40.
Okay.
What a deal! What
Yeah,
a deal!
Oh, sorry, my bad, 50 then.
It's
I
the
thought
same.
40.
It's the same price as Oblivion Remastered. I think we might be on to something, bro.
So it's
I think they digging deep into the vaults.
And along with that, if you have already purchased Gears of War Ultimate, you're good to go. You got this Gears Remastered for free.
Yeah, respect for that one. And I'm
You don't have to buy it again if you've already owned the Ultimate Edition of Gears of War 1, which I do, and even though it is in Game Pass, I still bought it.
Yeah.
So
good deal.
It is what it is. There are some things that they'll get me to buy, even though I know it's still free. Like it just depends.
Yeah.
But
respect to them for doing that one. I gotta give them points for that.
But the big news wasn't that this game was coming out. The biggest news is that it was released it's announced day and date for PlayStation, because Gears of War has been a pillar franchise for Xbox for almost
20 years.
Yeah, for almost 20 plus years now.
Yeah.
No, the OG came out in 5. It's 20 years.
With this information, I would not be surprised Gears E-Day gonna be day one on PlayStation.
I wouldn't be surprised, but I don't expect it at the same time.
I think there's going to be a window of not on PlayStation. You're going to have to wait.
Yeah, I think they still want to do what they can to drive you, not necessarily the Xbox, but just to where they'll make more money, or where they'll make the most money. So like if we can drive you to Battle.net, if we can drive you to the Steam where we get 80%, if we can drive you to the Xbox app, we can drive you to a Fire Stick, like so I don't, for that reason I don't think it'll be day and date. And I think we'll have a better feel for that when Outer Worlds 2 gets its release date, because we already know that's supposed to go to PlayStation as well.
Is that not confirmed already?
It is already confirmed for PlayStation, but it's not confirmed to be day and date on PlayStation.
Oh,
What is it? What is it?
Outer Worlds 2. So because the new games thing, we haven't seen a lot of Xbox games go day and date to PlayStation. I think Doom is the only one we've seen so far.
I think we will see it with titles that have like they said,
Doom,
like they have an existing presence.
Yeah.
Doom is on PlayStation for sure.
Yeah.
So
Doom,
it was already on PlayStation.
We've seen it with Doom and Ninja Gaiden, but Outer Worlds, I could see that kind of being the situation, especially after the success they had with Indiana Jones. It can kind of be a situation to where, hey, we release it. What was it? 4 months later, from
in the spring.
Yeah, it was like a season later. We released it on PlayStation, and we still had great sales success. I could see them kind of doing that too.
Sold better on PlayStation than Xbox and PC.
I mean, it should be better on a console that came out 4 years after the.
You mean 4 months?
Flagship launch? It should be. No, I mean like the game should play better on a console that is 4 years newer.
Oh, you talking about the Pro?
Then the console was yes. Then the console.
He wasn't talking about the performance. He was saying that it came out.
I'm talking about
that it sold better on the PlayStation than it did on PC or Xbox, and I can see that. I mean, on Xbox and on PC, you have multiple ways that you can access the game at a subsidized cost. So you don't necessarily have to buy the game to play the game in all its glory. And like a lot of Xbox players, they'll just pay the $30 for the upgrade fee to play it a little bit early. And
I did.
There's so many games that have come out. I mean, I could just kind of, on the Xbox side, like, just been getting bashed over the head with games. This and like every 2 weeks since Ninja Gaiden Black got Shadow dropped on it. Like it's
that's true.
And like there hasn't been like a slowdown.
Yeah, actually, I just saw Post Up say this. Like this year alone, you've gotten more games from Xbox than we have, like at least cadence wise, in like years.
Yeah,
just being on this platform. It's
because
it's
all
disgusting.
three publishing houses are finally rolling. Xbox Game Studios was behind for so like when they bought Bethesda literally carried Xbox for like 3 years. Like Bethesda plus Obsidian like literally carried the Xbox brand for up until now pretty much. So yeah. And Obsidian's still kind of carrying Xbox because they opened the year with Avowed and they're closing it with Outer Worlds. So I would say at this point, Obsidian's probably Xbox's most valuable XGS studio. So look at this gen.
Maybe
they've carried it. They've carried it from Grounded to Pentiment to Outer Worlds to Avowed to Outer Worlds 2.
I still think it's Playground. I still think it's Playground because
Playground dropped one game, and that game is great, and it does have a strong live service.
They dropped Forza 5 has more players than every other Obsidian game that you talked about combined. You have to think about that. They did it in one game. They did it in one game. They didn't need one game,
but the thing is, if not for Obsidian's output, then people would be like, okay, you only have and all you have is live
Obsidian's
service
job
update.
was to hide the drought. Obsidian's job was to hide the drought.
Yeah, and they did that. That's what I'm saying.
And they did that.
So, but
But I wouldn't say carry them. They served a specific purpose. It was like, we're bare bones. Don't make us look bare bones.
I said Obsidian plus Bethesda. So it's
Mm.
like more like 6 studios have carried Xbox, you know, through the generation up until this point, basically. But yeah, did we get Omar's thoughts, or did we kick it off with you, Bay? I thought I kicked it off with Omar, but I'm not.
Started with me.
Sure. All right. Well, Omar, as the resident PlayStation player, what are your thoughts about getting Gears? Is that a game that you're interested in playing on the PlayStation?
Okay, so about me, I actually played Gears.
Yeah, I know.
So
That's what I said. Are you interested
yeah,
in playing it on the PlayStation? I already know you played Gears before.
I might. The only reason is because I didn't play all Gears, because not all Gears was on PC back then when I played them. Is
Mm.
Gears 5 gonna be on PC, on PlayStation as well, or what?
So far, we only know about
Eventually.
all we know about is this first one. I'm sure more will come, but we don't know in what order. Like, for instance, you might get Gears of War this remaster.
Oh, so this is not a collection. This is just one Gear.
Just one
Yeah,
Gears.
this is just Gears 1, bro. This is a remaster of Gears Ultimate Edition, which was just Gears 1 with all the DLC.
Yeah, so it might be like you might have to wait, 3 years per Gears game. So even if you get Gears of War E-Day, you might be waiting for Gears of War 2, and you might be waiting for Gears of War 3.
Yeah.
So it's like,
Here's the thing.
You might get
Yeah.
drip fed the
They-
Gears series.
They can't get E-Day until they get 1 through 3, though. It literally loses the nuance.
Yeah.
You need to see that. You need to see Marcus and Dom's relationship for E-Day to really hit.
The only Gears I would play is either it is 4 and 5. So yeah, no, that's a no go for me. I have no interest. I already played Gears 1. It's good. I'm waiting on Gears E-Day.
Okay.
But as for it hitting PlayStation, I'm not surprised. Like, truly am not. Because when the leak happened, people didn't want to believe it. It's like, the thing is, when it's, the time with PlayStation, when they put the games on PC, I learned from it. First, it was Horizon Zero Dawn. I didn't believe it. The source was literally from a YouTube channel out of Russia. Obscure as fuck.
So
Yet, yeah.
I'll speak from my perspective about Xbox going leaning more heavily into being third party. They haven't gone full third party. Like, all the games aren't over. Like, they just released 2 games this month that aren't making it over to PlayStation anytime soon, to our knowledge. But my thought process at the time was that Xbox was still Xbox, whereas like Phil and his team were still making all the decisions. I wasn't 100% sure that Microsoft would be coming into Xbox and saying, hey, we have to make these changes after making these acquisitions. Because what Xbox is doing now is more of a Microsoft Trojan horse approach, where they infiltrate your system, your ecosystem, and then they dominate it and kind of weaken you to the point where they're the dominant player in your ecosystem. Like, for instance, like Apple had all these productivity software services and applications that they had at some point in time, and then Microsoft said, why are we going to let Apple get good at what we do? Like, what if they make a better Excel than us? No, we'll just put Excel over there. And then they essentially killed off all of Apple's productivity software by simply putting Microsoft Office onto Apple. So yeah, Apple makes money, and they're happy that they don't have to spend the R&D and development and all that. But Xbox but Microsoft dominates, the Apple phones and Apple PCs now when it comes to productivity software, where Microsoft has always done well. That's kind of like, so that's kind of how it was like my perspective. I just wasn't sure if like they were really going to take the full on Microsoft approach or if they were going to stay playing by the game of how the gaming industry has always been. So that's was kind of my perspective. I was like, is Microsoft really taking over this thing or not?
I got you on that end, but the writing was on the wall the second they start putting their games on PlayStation. It was over.
Well, they've always had games on PlayStation though. They always had Minecraft and like.
But Minecraft was never first party though.
Minecraft is first party.
I said beforehand.
Well, it was mainly PC, and then when Microsoft bought it, that's when it became an Xbox exclusive. So
and then they put it on Switch, and they put it on Xbox, and then Ori the Blind Forest is on Nintendo.
You forgot because it was also on PlayStation as well.
Yeah,
so
that's what I'm saying. So they've always had games on. Well, I ain't gonna say always, but for a long time they have had their other games on PlayStation and Switch where it made sense.
And now apparently the first party lineup completely makes sense on PlayStation.
Well, it's not completely because they had, like I said, they released 2 games this month that aren't coming onto the PlayStation anytime soon. Like South of Midnight's not there, Avowed isn't there.
South of Midnight is literally just released, so we don't know if the game did well or not.
Yeah, but if they were full third party, it would be on the PlayStation day and date. So Avowed isn't there. Towerborn isn't there.
I think the whatchamacallit, the first the first actual test is Gears E-Day. Is that gonna be on PlayStation or not?
I would probably say Fable. Because Fable should come out before Fable should come out before E-Day. Outer Worlds is also going to be another.
Yeah. So it's gonna be interesting to see how they're gonna move.
But I would probably lean towards what is it? I would probably lean towards with you it being Fable or Gears of War E-Day because those are franchises that were never on the PlayStation before, whereas Outer Worlds was already on the PlayStation. Towerborn isn't developed directly by it's a global publishing deal. They own it. It's first party in the sense that when I say first party, it's in the sense that they paid for the game and they own the IP, not that they developed it directly.
Gotcha. Yeah, no.
I was responding to 108 Dragons. By the way, thanks for coming in the chat, Lemon. Appreciate it.
Yeah, no, it is gonna be interesting to see how they're gonna move, especially with Gears E-Day and Outer Worlds 2.
Okay.
But I'm not surprised about that. Like for real, I learned my lesson with PlayStation. I truly didn't believe that they're gonna go. They put the game on PC. Oh, what happened? They went on PC. So when I found out the 4 games that's gonna be on Xbox, I'm like, they're gonna. It's a whole slate. And when Phil Spencer said that, I'm like, yeah, that's a whole slate.
Well, another thing is that we got to realize is that we're probably looking at the next generation of consoles being the last traditional console generation. Like technology is growing pretty fast to where you won't necessarily need a dedicated, where they will no longer have to release dedicated consoles to release the games that they want to release.
Yeah, they might actually get out of the console hardware.
I'm talking about everyone.
Full-blown completely.
I'm talking about everyone. Nintendo, PlayStation.
I mean,
because they already have their stores. They already have their stores. They already have their platform. So they can place.
I mean, they still got their. I'm about to say they still got to sell accessories like controllers and stuff.
They'll still sell controllers. But the traditional console format that we've always been accustomed to, next generation might be the last one. I mean, think about where technology is going to be in 10 years.
No, we're at a standstill right now.
No, we're not at a
Well,
standstill. We're still having innovation. Dude, you just had Japan.
Listen,
Japan just launched a satellite that can generate energy in space and send it to Earth. Like you just got 10G in China. There's innovation taking place.
yeah, but the U.S. can't get no damn 6G. That's bullshit.
So
The U.S. can't even keep our roads fixed, bro. I don't know why we're surprised here.
yeah,
Man.
and
The roads in Rome have not needed repaved in thousands and thousands of years. Get it together.
them potholes. Them potholes are deadly after a rainstorm, man. You can't see them shits at all. Just like a regular puddle.
Yep. And then your tire and your rim fucked.
Yep, those are the humble holes that make you turn your radio down just to listen to your car while you driving.
Oh man, but
going back to the competition,
I'm jumping over to Zero, man. What are your thoughts on this Gears Remastered? Only the first game going everywhere. Day one, PlayStation and all.
I mean, I kind of wish it was like the first 3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That kind of tells at least that complete story.
You don't get the first 3.
I immediately just now get. I mean,
drip feed,
and so now I
they
get
can't
Final
put
Fantasy
everything on
vibes, and you know how I feel about Final Fantasy.
Well, these
content,
games are
content-wise, there's enough.
Well, wait, I want to make sure I'm not misunderstanding. Is it just Gears 1 that's coming to PlayStation, or is only Gears 1 that's being remade?
Just Gears 1 coming.
It's Gears 1.
Both.
But
yes.
the collection is all the games.
Well, apparently there is supposed to be a collection, but so far
there is supposed to be a collection. But
as
yeah.
of right now, only the first one has been announced.
Actually, we might hear about that at the in June and be like, "Hey, this collection is Xbox exclusive for God knows how long," and then they,
that would be. I mean,
but why have this? Why have this edition of Gears of War just to put Gears of War in another collection? Like, why have the first one in this one just to put? Like, this collection needs to be 2 and 3.
It would be because you could. I mean, I see it on EA games all the time how they advertise other games. So it could be a situation where you're just kind of like, here's the first Gears to continue, like, once you get like to the end or whatever, like continue the journey on, Xbox, PC, whatever devices, on Gears 2 Remastered. Continue the journey on these devices.
Yeah. And I mean, I will admit it's not terribly shocking. Like I think we all knew, like the cat's out of the bag now. Games are just gonna go where they're gonna go. Yeah. Save for Nintendo, who might be the last holdout.
I think Nintendo will even start putting games on PC. I don't think they ever put them on other consoles, but I could see them making it
PC. Depending on what goes on with the Switch too, you might not be wrong.
You're muted, Nappy. But even when it makes it a PC, it doesn't have to go to Steam. Like they could launch their own crappy.
Nintendo could launch its own half-baked Nintendo app and go through it from that way.
Yeah, they could do that. That's what I'm saying. I could see it happening. Like I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility.
Yeah. But if nothing else, what it's ushering in is that like the traditional console war that we grew up on is kind of over, right? Like, and it was a long and fun run, but the days of Nintendo and all that type of blast processing and Xbox versus PlayStation, like they're over, and a new era will like sort of reign in, and sort of the play everywhere era. And I don't know what that looks like. And a part of it might just be.
It looks like a platform ecosystem war now, like where Fortnite, Roblox, Steam, Xbox, PS app is like who has the biggest platform, who has the biggest ecosystem. I would say right now, if we're looking at it, like technically, I would say probably Steam is winning that front, but Xbox is right behind.
Lightly, ecosystems can kind of be exhausting. At least speaking as a person who like remembers when they weren't always as prevalent as they used to be.
Yeah.
Or as they are now. Like everything is an ecosystem, and it's fine. I understand. Like, why wouldn't it be?
They try to
But
create an area that you don't want to leave. Basically.
yeah,
Pretty
but
much.
like
You can
everybody is making an area that I don't want to leave. So then it just becomes like, well, I have to be a part of all of your areas. That's just how this works.
Yep.
So it just gets like annoying and frustrating in that way. And in the same way we've been like, I don't want to make a Ubisoft account just to play my games. I just want to pop the game in and play it.
And also the issue is that all these devices are now playing the same games. Like back when we were growing up, an Xbox and a Nintendo both played very different type of games. That is starting to be very much different now. So there's not a lot of uniqueness between devices, and it's all about, it makes it even more important. What is that ecosystem?
Yeah. Well, I will not lament the death of the console war. Like, it was a good fun run, and we survived in this system for a very long time, right? Like, even before, for the most part, all of us were born. Like, it was sort of kicking itself off in that way anyway.
Yeah.
So, we just power through, and it's a new interconnected world. It will be very interesting to see what it looks like. But I don't think it's for the worse. I don't have an opinion it's for the worse or the better, really. It's just, I think it remains to be seen. But playing everywhere is never a bad thing, right? Like,
No,
I can't really argue against that.
Yeah. Like we're just in the era where it doesn't matter where you play. We should just be focused on playing. Why do we give a damn about these companies' bottom lines and all this, that, and the third? Like
Because
we got it fucked up.
All right.
Yeah, because theoretically, like, if you believe in the company, right, the company always will make the great game, exclusive or not. Like, if Sony has committed itself to making great first-person experiences, wherever those games are should not functionally matter. If Sony is honestly 100% about that.
I will say that it mattered, and I'll say the reason that it mattered is because of Sega Dreamcast. And when Sega Dreamcast left the picture, and your library of games that you had on your Dreamcast kind of instantly meant nothing, I think people became more invested in the console war, and then Xbox kind of fell into this weird place where it may not exist anymore, and people have acted like it's been in that place for over a decade now, and that's far from the case. It got close to that point again before the ABK purchase, apparently. But I think that's kind of what drives the sentiment of the console wars. That if your console loses, quote unquote, console war, and they go third party, whatever, that means that like your brand,
lost.
your plan, you
you're
as
weaker.
you as a consumer, you lost. You lost your games. Like, you lost you lost your save files. You lost everything you cared about. So I think that's why people were invested. But now that that's like looking like Xbox is in a position where they're kind of immune to that, and Nintendo seems like they're immune to that, and our perception is that PlayStation is also seems to be immune to that to an extent. I think the console war rhetoric over the next couple of years will kind of be a lot less console war-y.
Absolutely. Now, granted, gamers are nothing of tribal. We just shift over to developer wars.
Yeah.
So, like, who just makes the best games? But you're right. Like, the traditional console war, there's not. Even if you want to concede or say, like, if you have to get one last dig in and be like, well, Xbox lost, and like, okay, but Xbox isn't going anywhere. So they lost and they're still around, and not like how Sega disappeared for quite some time and then came back. Like, Xbox will probably continue its trend that is going on right now.
I mean, they got 500 million MAU. That's more than anyone in the console space. So they're doing okay.
Yeah, so if you can just abide by that, then the sort of who wins, who loses, like, it's not going to be like Sega and Nintendo.
Yeah.
Or Atari or some of the other ones. So we'll, we just got to sort of keep it in that. With these functionally too big to fail businesses.
Yeah. Well, I don't think the gaming industry is ever getting any government bailouts, but yeah, too big to fail. Oh man.
Keep an eye on things like Tencent and stuff, right?
Oh, they might get an economic bailout, but no US based companies getting no damn bailout for gaming. Yeah. Last but not least, Snappy. I know you play Gears. What are your thoughts when you saw this remastered Gears 1 announced, along with it showing up everywhere?
It's kind of interesting because Gear Remaster already came out for PC, which I own on the Microsoft App Store.
Talking about Gears Ultimate?
Yeah.
This is a remaster of that remaster, I guess.
So it's kind of like it's like at first I was like, did they put like modern controls? No, it's just a remaster of Gears of War 1. I was like, okay, that's nice. At first I asked, what about 2 and 3? I thought we was gonna get like a trilogy, but it turns out we're not. I mean, it's nice that Gears 1 is getting re-released. For cover back in the era, I don't know if the current or newer generation is into cover-based shooters, but it still is a fun game to play. The story is still great.
Yeah.
I definitely do recommend it. It's nice to see that PlayStation people get access to more Xbox games, and maybe Sony can realize, like, hey, maybe we shouldn't have exclusive and probably release some of their games on other platforms to try to meet these profit margins, Better than increasing the price of your console. Just saying.
They have an output problem at the moment. Beyond just selling.
I mean, you have an output problem. Final Fantasy VII Remake still isn't on Xbox yet.
I think that gets announced at the Xbox Showcase.
Even though even though it's a Square Enix title, but still. Hey, you can release the Spider-Man games on Xbox. I mean, hey.
I think that might happen. And because Disney wants their money. So I think that might happen.
Yeah.
Other than that, I don't really.
I'm just saying.
They could have done Until Dawn. Until Dawn could have been on Xbox. No reason it couldn't have been there, but they chose not to.
I would say Days Gone. Since
Days Gone could have been.
That's the redheaded stepchild of Sony games.
They're taking on the IP for both.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm just saying, like, as you guys already said before, like, console wars is slowly dying, and like people just want to play good games, and if you don't have a good output of games, why not release some of your older titles to different platforms to get a little bit extra kick or extra revenue out of those games? I mean, Sony says that their games, after they release them on PC, I mean, Final Fantasy 15 even sold decently well on PC, despite everyone saying that it didn't feel like a Final Fantasy game. Final Fantasy Remake, when it came on PC, sold very well. Every time they re-release a game on PC, it sells well.
Yeah.
So
it sells well.
I mean, so for
X, doesn't sell great always. It does sell well.
Well, I would definitely say, like, I'm one of those people, like, if I watch someone else play the game from beginning to end, like I'd watch people play like the new God of War games.
Mm-hmm.
It makes me not want to play the current God of War. Like, same thing with Spider-Man 2. I watched somebody play Spider-Man 2 Miles Morales, and I played a little bit with my friend, but after that I was just like, yeah, I'm not buying this game.
Yeah, I can see that.
I spoiled it for myself. I'm more likely to spoil something, so I have to keep myself away from a game to make sure I don't spoil anything.
Okay.
To repurchase it later on. But yeah, that's all my thoughts.
Well, everyone got their thoughts on all topics. We made it to the point in the show where we are going to roll into outros. We are past midnight. Try to get some of these guys out of here because they got to work early. With that said, go ahead, jump into our outros. Nappy, where can we find you, and what will you be playing?
Yes, you can find me here on YouTube. Just type in Nappy Station on a search bar. I will pop up. I do controller reviews, mostly focusing on PC and mobile, but my controller reviews. If you have any recommendations, depending on if I have spare change, I will purchase the controller. The recent controller I got my hands on was this Necon Revolutionary X controller. So this is the new controller for Xbox and PC with the LED screen on it. As you can see, it can allows you to customize buttons, 4 programmable buttons, trigger stoppers. I'm sorry, 6 programmable buttons, trigger stoppers, and the very first controller for Xbox that has gyro functions, which is interesting. All for 200 USD. So I'll be playing around with this controller, and I'll give my thoughts on this eventually. With that being said, also you guys already know. I know people don't like mobile gaming, but I did got a mobile gaming phone with the Red Magic 10 Pro. I'm start doing recordings of the Red Magic 10 Pro because I've done a pretty deep dive into mobile gaming, and I think I pushed this phone to its limits, so I have a good understanding and good thought. And I have a way to like explain this in the video once this comes out. So other than that, Monster Hunter Wilds as always, and split fiction with my girlfriend because she wants me to finish that. And why I'm not even playing split fiction, she's playing Expedition 33 and she tells me I need to play on it. But first I gotta finish Metaphor before I hop into another turn-based game. There's too many games out there.
Yes, way too many.
All right.
And Zero, where can we find you and what will you be playing?
As always, guys, Blast 0x386 or 0.exe, pretty much anywhere. Expedition 33. I need to see what the mystery is all about. After that, it's probably gonna jump into some Oblivion. I gotta see what the hype is about.
Okay. And Omar, where can we find you and what will you be playing?
Yeah, shout out everyone that came through. Hit that like button, share the stream out. You can find me at Caraman Kochab on Twitter and on Other Player Podcast every Saturday, 5 p.m. It's the same time. As for me, Expedition, 33. Play that game. Play that game.
Early
Play
game of
that
the
game.
year. Early game of the year. Contender.
Yeah.
It's the darling. It's the
yeah,
darling of the industry right now. It has a pretty good chance.
Yeah. There's God of Reality and Death Stranding 2 for me, so it's gonna be interesting. But it's absolutely contender next to Split Fiction.
Mm-hmm.
These are my 2 earliest Game of the Year nominations. Yeah, I agree.
All right. And last but not least, Jube, where can we find you and what will you be playing? One.
We lost Jube.
Jube.
He was
late to the intro. He is gone for the outro.
No.
Well, I'm your host, Pharaoh. You can find me probably tomorrow on Point for Gamers with Steve Money and Doodle. I will be playing South of Midnight and hopefully making my way over to Expedition 33 in the near future. Kofi is on my back about this Lords of the Fallen game, so I might have to check that out for a couple minutes just to get my character created at minimum. But yeah, that's gonna be what's going on with me. Appreciate you all coming out. And as we end every show, thank you for coming and getting your weekly dose of that vitamin G. We are out. Peace.
Later.
Peace.
I'm on the outside looking in, and I wanna be back on the inside. I don't wanna be left on the outside, all alone. All alone.
You rockin' with beats, discussing the heat in the streets. Take over the west and the east. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. You rockin' with beats, discussing the heat in the streets.